Hello everyone, I'm Top Romance here. Before watching the video, please take 3 seconds to like the video and subscribe to the channel. This will motivate me to create more quality videos. Thank you very much. I wish you all a pleasant day. In the 14th year of the Thin Dynasty, the emperor quelled external threats and stabilized the country. The people lived in peace, settled and prospered. Civil and military officials all praised him. But because of this, the royal lineage also grew. While the emperor was playing with some children, suddenly a little girl fell into the fish pond next to the palace. The maids ran frantically while shouting to report. "It's terrible. The third princess has fallen into the water." The emperor quickly removed the blindfold. His face was shocked. He loudly ordered, "Quickly, call someone to rescue her. If anything happens to the princess, I will not spare any of you." The guards, frightened, bowed and responded in unison, "Yes, your majesty." The girl who fell into the water called herself Gu Wei. She was originally a descendant of a traditional Chinese medicine family. Unexpectedly, she had time traveled from her mother's womb to the Thin Dynasty and became the third princess. She only wanted to eat, drink, and have fun every day. "I carelessly fell into the lotus pond. I'm the time traveler with the shortest life in history." She struggled uncomfortably in the cold water, hoping for rescue. "I won't die like this, will I? I've only lived for 3.5 years. A moment later, at the elegant bamboo pavilion, the maid Yun Xiu gently brought a bowl of hot medicine to Gu Wei. She softly said, "Third princess, it's time to take your medicine." Seeing no response from Gu Wei, Yun Xiu's face showed a hint of sadness. Gu Wei, the 3.5-year-old third princess of the Thin Dynasty, slowly sat up. She gently rubbed her eyes. "Thankfully, I'm still alive." Gu Wei slowly brought some medicine to her mouth. Suddenly at this moment, she paused when she heard someone's voice. "Princess, this servant has wronged you in the next life. This servant will surely serve you like an ox or a horse." Gu Wei was puzzled, wondering whose voice that was. She quickly glanced at the maid Yun Xiu standing beside her. Seeing Yun Xiu's somewhat annoying appearance, Gu Wei thought, "A maid who betrays her master. Betrays her master." She lowered her head without saying a word. Yun Xiu curled her lips and reminded the third princess, "Yesterday you fell into the water and caught a cold. You must drink this medicine quickly. Only then can you recover your health." Gu Wei quickly devised a plan. She sneezed forcefully. Then, pretending to be weak, she said, "The window is open, it's too cold. Go over there and close it for me." Yun Xiu quickly obeyed. She swiftly closed the window. Taking this opportunity, Gu Wei took out a hairpin from her pocket. Then she stabbed it into the medicine bowl, making its color darker than before. Gu Wei was stunned to realize the medicine had been poisoned. At this moment, Yun Xiu had also returned. Gu Wei frowned and asked Yun Xiu, "Will you be loyal to me for life?" Yun Xiu seemed a bit worried. She replied haltingly, "Of course, the princess is thinking nonsense again." Ko Vai could hear her evil thoughts. "Could I have revealed some weakness? Impossible. She's only 3.5 years old. What could she know?" Van Tu gently handed Ko Vai some tasty candies to comfort her, saying the medicine was too bitter for the princess to take. "Isn't that right? I brought some lollipops." Ko Vai gently placed the bowl of medicine on the table. She spoke with a serious expression. "I originally thought I wouldn't need you to be my servant or my slave. When you come of age, I'll ask mother to find you a good husband. If you don't want that future, when I leave the palace to establish my own household, I'll let you be the head manager, a housekeeper." Van Tu worried, thinking the princess knew about her. How could she know? She quickly grabbed the bowl of medicine to force Ko Vai to drink. "Princess, if you won't drink the medicine, I'll have to force you to." She raised her sharp hand. "This servant has wronged you, but today you must die." But she didn't expect that Ko Vai had already swiftly escaped. Fonteu glared in anger. "What?" Ko Vai hid under a pile of blankets. She held a sharp hairpin and frowned at her. Taking this once-in-a-lifetime opportunity, Ko Vai stabbed the hairpin forcefully into Van Tu's leg. She lost her balance because of this and dropped the bowl of poison. Van Tu cried out in pain. "Ah, ah, ah!" Ko Vai raised her voice. "If you knew you wronged me, why did you try to kill me?" As soon as she finished speaking, she quickly escaped from this troublesome room. But it seemed Van Tu still didn't want to let her go. She grabbed Ko Vai's leg tightly. She said with a triumphant face, "Now I've caught you. Let's see if you can run now." She used her strength to push her to the floor. Ko Vai stared in surprise. She quickly pulled out from her pocket 2 sharp needles. Then she threw them straight at Van Tu's neck. She gritted her teeth in anger. When Van Tu had fallen to the floor motionless, Ko Vai finally sighed in relief. "You evil person, talking about being loyal to me. But in the end, you still wanted to harm me. She rubbed her eyes and added, this imperial palace is truly not a place for people to live. I'm only 3.5, yet there are already people in the palace who want to harm me. I've stolen the emperor's favor, so they're eager to eliminate me. If I hadn't fallen into the water yesterday and suddenly gained the ability to read minds, I'm afraid this little life would have ended here today. Kovai recalled the awkward scene. The palace guards were jealous and always wanted to harm her. They threatened to kill people. Tears streamed down her sweet eyes. Dangerous profession. Sabu knew being a princess was also a dangerous job. She tried to reassure herself. If someone sees a 3.5-year-old child killing someone, they'll think I'm a monster and burn me alive. I need to quickly dispose of the body. Her tiny hands tried to drag Van Tu's body. Although she tried her best, her face still showed a grimace. Oh, it's too heavy. Suddenly at that moment, a beautiful foot hurriedly ran over. Kovai's mother appeared. She asked in astonishment. The daughter heard her mother's sweet voice. Kovai was a bit stunned. Oh no, I'm about to be seen as a monster by Tu Tan and burned. But Kovai didn't expect that. Her mother would use her hands to cover her jade eyes. Quickly close your eyes. She didn't blame her, but instead hugged her tightly. She comforted, mother's good girl, don't be afraid. Her face was surprised when she saw Van Tu's cold body lying on the beam. Unexpectedly, someone heartless wanted to poison and kill a 3.5-year-old child. She frowned, thinking that even if she had to risk her life, she must protect her daughter well. Kovai heard her mother's thoughts. She was moved to tears. How compassionate parents are in this world. I suddenly occupied her daughter's body. From now on, I will be filial to mother. She hugged her mother tightly and comforted mother, it's okay, I'm not afraid. Her mother's face was still a bit sad. She silently stared at Kovai. She speculated that the imperial palace was a place with little humanity. Fortunately, heaven blessed me with such a lovely and understanding daughter. But my daughter is just over 3 years old. How could she have caused Van Tu to end up like this? Kovai was a bit afraid that Tu Tan had discovered something. At this moment, Tran Chao rushed in breathlessly. She anxiously asked, Your Highness, what's going on here? She reminded, don't speak loudly. Take Nep Nep outside the door and wait for me. Nep Nep or Nom Nom are ways to call children, usually little girls. Kovai struggled, Mother, no, I won't go. The girl kept screaming. Tran Chao still carried her out. Tran Chao said, Princess, be obedient. At this moment, in this desolate room, only Tu Tan and a corpse remained. She gently lifted her up, then pulled 2 silver needles from her neck. Could this be the cause of Van Tu's death? She quietly hid the needles in her collar. Anyway, Nep Nep is only 3 years old. We can't let a palace maid affect Nep Nep's reputation. She quickly pushed Van Tu hard into the corner of the table, creating a scene as if Kovai had rushed into the room. Mother, Tran Chao anxiously called, Your Highness. Tu Tan raised her voice. Palace maid Van Tu used drugs to harm the princess. A pool of bright red blood appeared at Van Tu's head. Tu Tan added, during the chase, she accidentally hit the table corner and died. She brought it upon herself. Go report to the Empress. This palace will not let it go. We must find out who is behind this. Kovai stared blankly at her trembling hands. She thought Tan, who usually cries at the sight of an injured bird, unexpectedly went this far to protect me. She quickly grasped her hands tightly and comforted Mother, don't be afraid. I'll go find Father to handle this. Tu Tan sighed. Silly child, your father is not like other people's fathers. Tran Chao hesitated and added, That's right. His Majesty only visited the princess once when she was born. At other times he's always with the 8th prince and other princesses. Tu Tan frowned and cut off Tran Chao. Don't talk nonsense. Cool, we spoke softly. Mother, the jade green silk dress that you personally made for me, bring it for me to wear. Kovai thought smugly. If I'm not favored but still envied and harmed by others, then I might as well go and fight for the emperor's favor. A moment later, Kovai was beautifully dressed and standing at the palace gate. She smiled and slowly entered. The guard on the left frowned and asked, Which official's daughter are you? Running here from where? The guard on the right gently inquired, Little miss, who are you looking for? Kovai boldly replied, I'm here to see my father. The guard on the right smiled and said, Just now, Elder was discussing matters in the hall. Are you his daughter? Kovai asked, is an elder to over 60 years old. The two guards sneered and said in turn, so what if he's over 60? Maybe his blade is still sharp. I heard just a few days ago that elder took another concubine. Really? Usually elder seems so dignified. Who would have thought? Kovai crossed her arms and sighed. I didn't expect ancient people to gossip like this too. If I didn't have important business, I'd really want to grab a chair and sit here to listen all day. While the two were whispering to each other, Kovai quickly slipped inside. The two of them looked at each other in confusion. Huh, where did that little girl go? By now, Kovai had reached the door of the room. She sighed tiredly. Ugh, my legs hurt so much. In this life, I never want to climb so many stairs again. The guard standing behind her didn't know what to say. He quickly picked her up and carried her away. Kovai struggled and cried out, guard brother, I need to go up there. Carry me up there. He gently put her down, then patted her shoulder and smiled, saying, the emperor and elder are talking in there. You can go in there now, understand? The guard took the opportunity to pinch Kovai's cheeks. The thoughts in his head were audible to her. So cute. If only my fierce little sister at home could be like this little girl, how nice that would be. Suddenly, Kovai was a bit surprised. The emperor appeared right before her eyes. He was talking with the old man, Minister to. This imperial examination selection has been hard on you. Minister to bowed respectfully and replied, I will certainly not fail your majesty's trust. It seemed Kovai had thought of some plan. Her face showed a scheming expression. Kovai called out loudly, your majesty. She pretended to cry adorably. Father, I'm your daughter, Nep Nep. The emperor coughed lightly. The old man didn't want to acknowledge Kovai as his daughter. This is Minister Tu's daughter. She's quite adorable, but a bit too bold. Palace rules are strict. Minister Tu, you'd better take her home soon. Minister Tu was shocked. He bowed and replied, Your Majesty, this is not my child. I don't know this child. I beg your Majesty to understand. The emperor glared and raised his voice. A few days ago, you took a concubine. I've already heard about it. If it's not yours, then whose is it? Minister Tu still stubbornly denied. I've been wronged. He turned to ask the little girl, who did you just call father? Kovai pointed at the emperor. She softly replied, I called him. The emperor was completely stunned. People around whispered, those eyes do look somewhat like the emperor's. The emperor hesitantly said, you are my daughter. He frowned, thinking, the eldest princess is already 10 years old. I often visit the second princess. The fifth princess seems to still be swaddled. He smiled and said, I remember now, you're the fourth one. Right. Kovai was extremely angry. Stupid pig, that's your head. The emperor was bewildered, not understanding what was happening. He looked a bit worried at this expression. I must have guessed wrong. Kovai crossed her arms, looking so angry that even the guards standing behind were frightened. She sighed. Humph. Minister Tu raised his voice, insolent. So young, yet so disrespectful. Seeing Kovai's adorable face, the emperor smiled broadly. No one has ever dared to get angry in front of me like this before. This child is so cute. Kovai angrily turned to leave, the little girl looking displeased. I don't want to pay attention to father anymore. The emperor anxiously shouted, I know now, you're the third one. Kovai turned back and said, Father, do you really remember me? He smiled brightly. Remember? Of course I remember. Minister Tu was stunned, thinking his majesty isn't even angry. The emperor quickly approached Kovai. He said softly, how could I forget? A few days ago you fell into the water. I was the one who called for someone to rescue you. Kovai replied coyly, only now do you remember, father. He gently patted her head to comfort her. I've been busy with state affairs lately. No time. I was planning to visit you today. She was full of anger inside. The liar saw her sad face. The emperor sighed, heartbroken. He tried to soothe her mood. It's all because I've been too busy. Whatever you want as compensation, I'll agree to it. The officials behind were stunned, as if seeing a second personality of the emperor. Is this still the stern and majestic emperor from before? He gently poked Kovai's nose. But you have to forgive me first. Kovai said loudly, do you promise? He smiled and replied, I am the ruler of a country. My words are worth their weight in gold. Of course I promise. Hearing him say that, Kovai happily threw herself into his arms. She smiled and said, Father, it's cold outside. Let's go inside and talk. The officials were dumbfounded. Kids these days change their moods so quickly. The emperor picked Kovai up in his arms. He happily thought, such an intelligent child. The future will certainly be blessed. The guard spoke up. Your Majesty's health is important. The princess is too heavy. Let me carry her instead. He frowned in response, amidst Ko Vai's happiness. No need, my daughter is just growing up. I can carry her myself. Upon hearing this, the guard's words seemed to freeze. A moment later, in a room warmed by a glowing brazier, Ko Vai ate and drank heartily with the emperor. He happily reminded her, from now on, whatever my daughter wants to eat, you can always come to me anytime. Ko Vi joyfully replied, okay. He smiled, gazing at his adorable daughter without taking his eyes off her. Ko Vai thought vaguely, this emperor is quite handsome, isn't he? Suddenly he realized something. He asked Ko Vai, what's your school name, dear? She looked confused and asked, what do you mean by school name? He gently explained, when princesses and princes turn 3 years old, the empress and empress dowager bestow a name to show their nobility. You're already 3.5, but haven't received a name yet. Ko Vai sadly shook her head. The emperor excitedly raised his voice. I will personally bestow a name upon you. He quickly called for paper and brush. Then he wrote the name Lin on the white paper. He showed it to Ko Vai. I think you're lively and adorable. How about calling you Ko Lin? Ko Vai looked a bit disappointed. Seeing this, the emperor worriedly asked the child, what's with that expression? Is the name I gave you not good? Ko Vai frowned and replied, Mother has a maid named Lin Ni. The guard standing behind thought this third princess is too bold. His Majesty is the ruler of a country. He has never been criticized like this before. He recalled the image from before when the eldest princess cried because of her name. Like last time, when His Majesty named the eldest princess Ko Dan Dan. Afterward, the eldest princess secretly hid and cried. The emperor frowned and said, this child. Ko Vai quickly stuffed a piece of cake into his mouth. She gently reminded him, Father, take your time thinking, there's no rush. She added, for now, let Lin Ni be my nickname. The emperor could only sigh. Ko Vai hurriedly left. When father has finished thinking, come find Lin Ni, okay? Lin Ni is going back first. He raised his voice, ordering the guard who was still dazed. What are you standing there for? Quickly send someone to escort the third princess back to the palace. The guard fearfully and obediently replied yes. On the way back home, she frowned and thought, will the emperor come to see mother tonight? Success or failure depends on this. Ko Vai walked alone on a main road. She worriedly asked herself, I clearly came this way to get here. Why can't I find my way out now? Suddenly, she slipped. Then Ko Vai's entire body fell to the ground. She cried in pain. A handsome young man appeared. He reached out to help her. Are you all right? Ko Vai's face turned bright red. She stared at him, feeling flustered. What are these spam messages above this little handsome guy's head? He frowned and lightly tapped Ko Vai's cheek. She winced in pain and started crying. At that moment, the guard appeared. Seeing the princess being bullied, he raised his voice. How dare you? You dare to hurt the third princess. He raised his hand to grab the handsome young man, but the young man quickly dodged. The guard angrily drew his sword. The handsome young man swiftly blocked the sharp sword, seemingly recognizing someone familiar. The young man, bewildered, called out K. The guard worriedly asked, Wu Liang, is that you? Ko Vai quickly intervened. Don't touch him. You just help me up. The guard hastily sheathed his sword. It turned out to be a misunderstanding. Seeing the princess's hand slightly reddened, Wu Liang curiously asked, but why is the princess's hand red? Ko Vai was a bit startled. She smiled and replied, I just tripped on the way. My hand got scratched, that's all. Wu Liang coldly responded, oh. Just one word from him made Ko Vai's cheeks flush. Wu Liang crossed his arms and said to the guard, tomorrow is little sister Ning Ni's birthday. Big brother suddenly fell ill. Uncle Tu Ba wants me to take you back immediately to handle all matters in the Ingwa mansion. Tomorrow, the emperor will also leave the palace to attend. The guard quickly took Ko Vai's hand to lead her back. He reminded, you go back first. I'll take the third princess back to the palace and then return home. Wu Liang replied, all right. When she heard the emperor was about to leave the palace, Ko Vai was overjoyed. The emperor is leaving the palace. I've been here for 3 years now. I want to go out and see the excitement too. She asked the guard, was that person just now your younger brother? He smiled and replied, no. His name is Wu Liang. My father adopted him when he was young. A moment later, they arrived at the magnificent Phoenix Pavilion. The guard reminded the third princess, we've arrived. Seeing Ko Vai return, Zhenju exclaimed, third princess. The third princess is back. Consort Z anxiously ran out, calling for her daughter. Nep Nep, she fearfully hugged her beloved child. Where did you run off to? I was worried sick. Kovai sadly replied, Mother, I'm sorry. I was wrong. I missed Father, so I went to the Great Hall to find him. Consort Z looked at her gently. She said, You went out alone? What if something had happened? How would I live? How could I go on living? Kovai obediently held out her palm. You can spank me. From now on, I'll definitely be good and obedient. I won't want her off anymore. Consort Z's eyes softened. She consoled, Oh, since you know you were wrong, I'll let you off this time. But, she pointed and warned, there won't be a next time. Kovai gently kissed her mother's cheek. I'll listen to you, Mother. She happily touched the girl's cheek. You little one, how did I give birth to such a mischievous child? The guard, witnessing the scene, felt extremely excited in his heart. The third princess is so adorable. I, 2Z, must protect her well. As night fell, at the Qingyu Palace, the Empress gently picked up a delicious piece of meat. Then she offered it to the Emperor, Your Majesty. This is the meatball that people like to eat the most. The lady gently added, I specially made this piece of meat for you. Move it closer to Your Majesty's mouth, the Empress requested. Suddenly, at this moment, the Grand Princess's nose itched. She sneezed forcefully. The dirt stuck to the round piece of meat. The little girl bowed down in fear and begged, Father, I'm sorry, it's my fault. The Emperor gently reached out to hold the little girl. It's all right, stand up. The Grand Princess trembled in fear. She avoided the Emperor. He asked in surprise, Are you very afraid of me? The Empress anxiously interjected, Your Majesty. This is the princess respecting your imperial authority. The two princes also trembled and hugged the Grand Princess. The little girl fearfully replied, It is indeed respect for Father. He sadly thought of his lovable daughter. The high position is inevitably cold. Everyone fears me. Only she dares to be like this with me, making me feel like a father who has made a mistake. Your Majesty lost his appetite and didn't feel like eating anymore. He quickly stood up, then silently left, to the Empress's sorrow. Capable servant, tonight, I want to dine at 2 Kui Tan's place. The capable servant obediently replied, Yes, Your Majesty will visit Phoenix Pavilion. Seeing that the Emperor seemed to no longer favor her as before, the Empress gritted her teeth in anger. She deliberately chased after him to hold him back. Your Majesty, please don't go. She frowned, thinking I have given birth to 2 princes and a princess. My position is extremely noble. 2 Kui Tan has no royal offspring. What right does she have to compete with me for favor? Just relying on that little girl who fell into the water at 3 years old and caught the Emperor's attention. She was extremely resentful. It's really a joke. The Empress angrily glanced at her 3 beloved children. Even if not for me, that little girl must be eliminated for the sake of my children. At night, in Phoenix Pavilion, hearing the sound of the Emperor's arrival, 2 Kui Tan, along with Kovai and 2 maids, were surprised. 2 Kui Tan curiously asked why. How did Your Majesty come here? Kovai happily advised her mother. Mother, quickly change your clothes. A moment later, 2 Kui Tan put on a beautiful silk dress. She bowed respectfully and said, Your humble servant greets Your Majesty. He gently helped her up, saying, Beloved consort, no need for formalities. When 2 Kui Tan stood up, a stunning beauty moved the Emperor's heart, making him feel a bit shy. Delicious dishes were laid out on the table. 2 Kui Tan softly said, Your Majesty hasn't eaten yet, right? I have prepared some dishes. Seeing the food, it looked appetizing. The Emperor happily replied, Beloved consort is so thoughtful. He glanced around and asked, Where is Lin Ni? 2 Kui Tan was a bit surprised. Lin Hai Kovai appeared, causing both to glance over. She respectfully bowed. Father, 10,000 blessings. Kovai was still angry with the Emperor. She tried to stay away from him, which 2 Kui Tan didn't quite understand. The Emperor waved his hand and said gently, Lin Hai, come sit next to me. She frowned and huffed. 2 Kui Tan looked at her beloved daughter. She asked if Your Majesty and Nep Nep had any secrets. Usually, Nep Nep tells me everything. Today, she's hiding it very well. The Emperor gently took out a piece of paper from his pocket. I've been thinking all afternoon. I've chosen a good name. He held up the paper and said to Kovai, Look at this character. What do you think? Kovai looked at the paper intently. She replied, Kovai, this name is not bad. She was extremely delighted inside. Shudio King Zi Kianyo Sablas. Yangzatuo Ziguiwei. It happens to be similar to my name in my previous life. It symbolizes a beautiful name. Seeing the little girl could read the characters, Tu Kui Tan and the Emperor were amazed and exclaimed in unison. You're only 3.5 years old. Not yet school age, but you know these characters. Kovai trembled and tried to explain. I saw Mother practicing these characters before. Then she worriedly thought, oh no, I accidentally revealed that I'm educated. The Emperor seemed very excited. He clapped his hands and then smiled, saying, Capable servant, later, go and announce that Tu Kui Tan is diligent and gentle, with a kind temperament, outstanding virtues, and teaches her daughter with good methods. Request to reward her for educating Ko Vi thoroughly. Immediately confer the title of second-rank consort. The capable servant bowed and obeyed the order. The two maids cheered joyfully. Congratulations to Lady Tu on her promotion to consort. Congratulations to the third princess for receiving a name from His Majesty. From now on, Phoenix Pavilion has His Majesty's support. We no longer need to be bullied by others. It's all thanks to the third princess fighting for us. Tu Kui Tan gently poured a cup of tea. Then she handed it to the Emperor. Your Majesty, please have some mountain tea with osmanthus. This osmanthus was picked by me a few days ago in the garden and then dried. It's fragrant, mild, and sweet. She was extremely happy to see the Emperor and Ko Vi enjoying each other's company. He held her in his arms and said, Is this little grudge holder still angry with father? Father loves me the most. I was wrong. He let his daughter sit beside him. Come, have a meal with father. He happily picked up a big piece of meat for Ko Vi. Daughter, try this meat dish. The fragrant meat melted in Ko Vi's mouth. The braised pork with pickles is so delicious. The Emperor happily realized, this is the first time I've fed someone else. I didn't expect it to be so enjoyable. Is this the joy of raising a daughter? He smiled and said something that startled Ko Vi. Tomorrow, you'll accompany me outside the palace. I will take you to eat to your heart's content. Ko Vi's eyes widened with excitement. Really, you truly are Vir's best father in the world. The capable servant and the maids were bewildered. They whispered to each other, who would have thought His Majesty would feed the third princess, and even take the third princess outside the palace? The capable servant respectfully said to the Emperor, the third princess is beautiful and intelligent. I wonder who will be fortunate enough to become her prince consort. Suddenly, he was a bit startled. The Emperor's lips curled, looking quite displeased. He slammed his wine glass on the table. I want to see in this world which pig dares to eat the white radishes that I painstakingly cultivated. The capable servant slapped his own face. Your Majesty, please calm down. It's all because of this servant's mouth. Deserves to be punished. Ko Vi cheerfully said, I'm full now, father and mother. You two eat slowly. The little girl grabbed the hands of two maids, then led them away. Tran Chao, known Xian, come with me for a walk to digest. The capable servant also understood the princess's intention. He bowed respectfully and left. This servant also takes his leave. The Emperor smiled happily, unable to stop. This girl, now by the poetic lakeside, Ko Vi was walking with Tran Chao and known Xian. It seemed something fell into the water, making a plop sound. Ko Vi suddenly stopped. Seeing this, known Xian worriedly asked the third princess, why did you stop? Ko Vi said in a low voice, did you two hear something fall into the water? The two of them shook their heads, having heard nothing. This maid didn't hear anything either. Maybe it was just a frog. She stared at the water surface near a rock. That sound came from the river behind the artificial mountain. A sack fell and drifted with the current. Ko Vi panicked and ordered quickly fish out that sack. The two palace maids behind each held a stick. Yes. Opening the sack, there was an unconscious, soaking wet girl inside. Why is there a person in the sack? The palace maids were terrified. How frightening. We should quickly return to the palace and report to Her Majesty. But Ko Vi immediately pressed her hands firmly on the girl's chest. It will be too late by then. We can't see death and not save her. The girl was given artificial respiration and immediately spat out water from her mouth. The two palace maids were surprised. When did the third princess learn to check pulses? Could it be that the princess has a special talent? A worried palace maid asked. She's still not awake. She's not dead, is she? Ko Vi, while checking the pulse, said, don't be afraid. Although her pulse is weak, fortunately, she's still alive. She was just underwater for too long, so it's hard to wake up immediately. Kovai thought to herself, but who could be so cruel? It's unbelievable. They would be so inhumane to someone who just gave birth. Kovai was trying to read thoughts. It seemed that the mind-reading technique didn't work on unconscious people. After a while, she sighed and wiped her sweat. Help me take her to my room. Be careful not to let anyone discover. The two palace maids were surprised. Later, the girl was brought to the room. Kovai laid out a mattress on the floor. Shucked. Third princess, your precious body, how can you sleep on the ground? The other palace maid said, Princess, I will report to Her Majesty to arrange another room for her. Kovai pondered, wait a moment. Not a word of tonight's events can be leaked outside. The two of them were surprised to hear this. Why? Kovai pointed to the sack. If the culprit behind this learns she's still alive, they will surely return to eliminate the evidence. Even Phoenix Pavilion might be in danger. Let's wait until she wakes up and then decide. Hearing Kovai say this, the two palace maids' eyes widened in fear. We servants swear not to tell anyone. The third princess is very thoughtful. But princess, you can't sleep on the floor. Kovai still pulled up the blanket and then snored loudly. The two of them were surprised and then smiled at each other. Tuvin said children fall asleep so quickly. Well, as long as the princess is happy. The next day, the city was bustling with noise. A horse-drawn carriage was moving. Kovai sat inside. Fortunately, Tran Chao and Non Xian are taking care of that woman, so I can leave the palace with peace of mind. But leaving the palace isn't as wonderful as I thought. Accompanying her were the emperor of the prosperous dynasty, Ko Tri and Duke and Kwok Tahao. The emperor suddenly ordered to stop the carriage. Luong Ni, who was driving outside, immediately brought the horses to a halt. Then the emperor carried Kovai and got out of the carriage. Duke and Kwok panicked. Your Majesty, wait for this old minister. Meanwhile, Kovai was dizzy and vomiting under a tree. Kovai, while vomiting, said, I'm sorry, it's my first time in a horse carriage. The emperor forced a smile. My daughter is not at fault. Suddenly, the emperor's eyes turned to the carriage full of killing intent. It's the fault of the poor quality carriage. Kovai saw this and was delighted. Father is so good. From now on, Vaini will obey father in everything. Then the emperor said, I will immediately have someone take you back to the palace. Kovai was excited, but then she realized, Luong Ni smiled and said to her, Third princess, this servant will take you back to the palace. Kovai immediately held onto the emperor's robe. Father, are you going out alone without taking me? She pretended to be stubborn and hurt, trying not to let tears fall. The emperor wiped her tears. You're not well this time. Next time, I will take you out. Cool, vite discrete. Then the emperor softened. All right then. I see your health isn't a major concern. Come with me to the banquet. The emperor wasn't joking. Kovai heard this and was overjoyed. Everyone present can bear witness for me. The emperor smirked. This little girl even dares to trick me. Kovai calmly said, Vaini wouldn't dare. Duke and Kwok, standing beside, said the third princess is indeed mischievous and adorable, making others fond of her, very much like your Majesty when you were young. The emperor immediately brushed off his hand. In this world, no one has dared to trifle with me. Then he pushed Kovai's head. Go back to the palace. I will punish you severely. Kovai was startled. Then she remembered the saying, befriending a king is like befriending a tiger. Ancient monarchs, when angry, would want to behead people. Then the emperor said, unless. Kovai, frightened, immediately replied, as long as father doesn't kill Vaini, I'll agree to whatever you say. Life is important. The emperor smirked. Who said I want to kill you these days? I've heard that the third princess has liked to hoard secret funds since childhood. Hearing this, Kovai was shocked. I save money to prepare surprises for father. To invite father for tea, that's all. Then Kovai took out her small bag. She poured out dazzling silver and gold currency. Duke and Kwok and the eunuch standing nearby covered their faces. The third princess has so much money. The emperor looked at the little girl with satisfied eyes. Kovai said to him, a little filial piety from your daughter. Father, please choose whatever you like. But in her heart, she was crying. The gold necklace was a birthday gift from the Empress Dowager. The gold bracelet was a New Year's reward from Mother Empress. The money I saved for 3 years by being frugal in eating and dressing. All my hard-earned savings are gone. The emperor picked up a gold coin. How can I spend the money of a 3-year-old child? But then he took all the gold warmly and left. But in appreciation of your filial piety, I'll temporarily keep it for you. Teasing me comes at a price. Ko-Vi's heart was breaking. Then the emperor gave her back 2 coins. Keep these for your own use. Ko-Vi reluctantly accepted. Thank you, father. Duke and Kwok came closer. I wonder if I could have a sip of that tea. Then Ko-Vi threw him 1 coin. This much is enough. Duke and Kwok shed tears. 1 copper coin is quite different. The emperor laughed heartily with Duke and Kwok. The child's savings aren't easy. Don't be greedy. Duke and Kwok thought to himself, who's really the greedy one here? At Kwok Mansion, the horse carriage arrived at the gate. They've reached Kwok Mansion. All servants stood in line to welcome the emperor. Long live the emperor. Long live, long live. The emperor led Ko-Vi inside. I'll go to the main hall to receive the ministers. You go play in the back garden for a while. I'll come to get you later. Ko-Vi obediently replied, yes, I'll be good. In the back garden of Kwok Mansion, Ko-Vi stood by the corridor, watching the palace maids busily preparing. So much delicious food, it seems the people in Kwok Mansion are all food saints. Suddenly, someone tapped her on the shoulder. What are you sneaking around in my house for today? Ko-Vi smiled friendly. My name is Ko-Vi. I came with my father to attend the birthday banquet at Kwok Mansion. Looking at the sparkling hairpin on Ko-Vi's head, that girl thought the hairpin was beautiful. If I wore it, it would surely attract everyone's attention. Nin-Ni then ordered, I command you to give me the hairpin on your head. Ko-Vi arrogantly said, I'm not stupid. Why should I give it to you? But she was immediately robbed by Nin-Ni. Even if you gave it to me, I might not want it. If you don't give it to me, I'll just take it. Then Nin-Ni put it on her own head. Hee, it's so beautiful. It suits my temperament best. But Nin-Ni immediately got scratched and her hand bled. It hurts. Nin-Ni an guli poiten at Ko-Vi. You know magic. You're a demon. Ko-Vi smiled mischievously. That's right. I especially like to eat children who bully others like you. Ko-Vi pressed close to Nin-Ni. I'm about to eat you now. Nin-Ni stim laui. Take back your hairpin. Don't eat me. Ko-Vi smirked. I'm just scaring you to death. See if you dare to covet other people's things again. Suddenly, Luong-Ni approached and bowed. Greetings, princess. Ko-Vi was stunned. Did he see all of my behavior? Nin-Ni heard this and panicked. She's a princess. Ko-Vi waved at him in greeting. Then he picked up the hairpin from the ground, wiped it clean, and pinned it back in Ko-Vi's hair. Princess, I'll help you put the hairpin back right away. At that moment, the emperor, along with Kwok Song and soldiers, came over. Kwok Song asked what was happening. Nin-Ni burst into tears, father, and pointed at Ko-Vi. Then Kwok Song held her. Don't blame the princess. It's all my daughter's fault. Nin-Ni then pretended. I saw the hairpin on the princess's head was very beautiful. I just wanted to borrow it for a look. Ko-Vi heard this and was surprised and astonished. As a result, Nin-Ni fell on her own. The princess didn't push me at all. Then Nin-Ni knelt before Ko-Vi. Nin-Ni apologizes to the princess. Please punish me, princess. Everyone suddenly started whispering. Princess, so young, yet already abusing her power to bully others. If the princess didn't push, then how come? If the princess didn't push, would the 2 young ladies cry like that? Ning-Ni setoli so mai. The emperor then turned and glared. All the officials and servants immediately fell silent. Then Luong-Ni from earlier stepped forward. I can testify on behalf of the princess. Sister, Nin-Ni fell on her own. Nin-Ni, kneeling, turned purple with rage. You ungrateful wretch. To curry favor with the princess, you don't care about your own sister. Then Ko-Vi patted her shoulder and questioned, when did he curry favor with me? Nin-Ni panicked when she heard the princess could know what she was thinking. You, how can you? Ko-Vi smirked. It's just a hairpin. I'll give it to you. Ko-Vi handed the sparkling hairpin to Nin-Ni. Nin-Ni immediately took it. How did I take it? Then she pinned it in her hair. Well, Nin-Ni thanks the princess for giving up her favorite item. Ko-Vi smiled. Don't be so formal. Later, Nin-Ni was walking in the garden. Then she went to a secluded corner and heard 2 palace maids talking and laughing. I heard the 2 young ladies put on another act, crying in front of everyone, forcing the 3rd princess to give her the hairpin. After all, she's just like her mother, a woman of rural origin. Seeing anything good, she throws away all dignity. If it wasn't for her mother using aphrodisiacs to daze the old master that year and getting pregnant with the 2 young ladies. Ning-Ni, shouted loudly, hey. What nonsense are you talking about? The two saw her fierce expression and panicked. Let's go quickly. Ninni clenched her fist and removed the hairpin. Indeed, everyone looks down on me. They despise me as a second-class woman. Then she threw the hairpin down, breaking it into two pieces. The princess is so great, isn't she? Just because she has a high status, she can bully me as she pleases. Suddenly, there was a buzzing sound from somewhere. What's going on? A swarm of bees buzzed densely towards her, attacking her. Ninni screamed loudly. Later, the emperor was sitting with Ko-Vi. Seeing Ko-Vi laughing heartily, the emperor immediately asked, "Are you hiding something from me?" Ko-Vi replied, "No, I'm not." The emperor angrily said, "You still say no? I've been looking at that hairpin of yours. The more I look, the stranger it seems." Ko-Vi was stunned. Could it be that the emperor has discovered that I applied special pollen to the hairpin? Will he punish me for this? The emperor tapped his fingers on the table. "Isn't that hairpin the gift I gave you on your birthday? How dare you give away such an important item that I gave you? How could you casually give it to someone else?" Ko-Vi finally understood. So father was talking about this. He scared me to death. Then she threw herself into her father's arms. "The hairpin you gave me, I've already kept it in the palace. How could I bear to wear it out?" Hearing this, the emperor's eyes lit up. "Really? Cool, plat, Suddenly, the lady, and Kwok Song, and Ninni rushed in panic towards the emperor. "Your Majesty, please save my daughter." Ninni's face was swollen. The emperor asked what happened. The lady burst into tears. "Our daughter has been a beauty since childhood. Today, while walking, she attracted a swarm of bees that stung her, damaging her face. We beg your Majesty to quickly send the royal physician to examine her." Ko-Vi smirked. "A beauty, huh?" The emperor calmly raised his teacup. "I left in a hurry today and didn't bring the royal physician. Find a local doctor to see her." The lady continued crying. "How can we trust the skills of an ordinary doctor?" And Kwok Song put his hand on her shoulder. "Don't be unreasonable." Then Ko-Vi took out a jar of ointment. "I have Ching Fong Yu Lu ointment that specifically treats insect bites. Apply it and you'll see immediate results. It guarantees no scars on the face. But it's a bit expensive." The lady and Kwok Song were stunned. 50 taels of silver. Ko-Vi held up 5 fingers. 500,000 taels of silver. The lady was shocked. That expensive. Then she applied the ointment to her daughter's face. Soon after, Ninni's face became smooth again. "Oh, my daughter's face has really healed." But the lady was in distress. "Half of our fortune is gone." And Kwok Song comforted her. "Oh dear, you two have completely ruined my reputation." Meanwhile, Ko-Vi was holding a 500,000 tael banknote. 500,000 taels. Consider it a lesson learned for them, and I've made a fortune. "Excellent," the emperor said, resting his chin on his hand. "I didn't know Vire had such good stuff. Why don't you give me a jar as well?" Ko-Vi smiled. "Of course. It's like a thief meeting an old lady." Luong Ni went to the lake, sadly throwing a stone into the water. It fell with a splash as he gazed into the distance at the lake's reflection. Ko-Vi's innocent face appeared in the water. Meanwhile, Ko-Vi saw Wai Nuong and her daughter storming off angrily. "What kind of medicine is worth 500,000 taels of silver? I think that third princess is a fraud." Ninni followed, adding, "That's right, that's right." Suddenly, Wai Nuong stepped on a pebble and slipped. Both mother and daughter fell down. Luong Ni quickly appeared and caught the jar of ointment. Wai Nuong shouted loudly, "Oh my bottom." Recently, the maids have been getting worse at their jobs. I can't believe there are still puddles on the road that haven't been swept away. Luong Ni stood in front and said, "Second lady, this Ching Fong Yu Lu ointment is of the highest quality. You must hold it carefully." The second lady helped Ninni up and dusted her off. "I just smelled it earlier, and it's nothing special. It's just ordinary herbal medicine. We've been deceived." Luong Ni immediately took a sniff. Although it's common herbal medicine, the same type of herbs can have different effects depending on who prepares them. He sniffed deeply for a while and then opened his eyes. "Although I don't know who made this medicine, forget 500,000 taels of silver, even 1,000 taels of gold would be hard to get a jar like this." Wai Nuong angrily snatched back the jar. "Ninni, don't listen to him talk like that. Let's go." Ninni Frawin. Indeed, these bastards taken in from outside are not part of the family. He's in cahoots with that witch, the third princess, to bully us. We're too weak to fight back ourselves. Luong Ni, hearing this, felt uncomfortable and said, "I see second lady and little sister crying all day and being very energetic in front of our adoptive father. You don't seem weak at all. Second lady got angry. You little. Ninny stopped her mother. Mother, don't argue with him. In the room of the old lady of Nguyen Manor, Luong Ni was brewing tea while Ko Vai was there. This girl is really pretty. At that moment, the eldest daughter to Tu Ni and old lady arrived. Are you Princess Ko Vai? Luong Ni and Ko Vai bowed. Greetings, old lady. Greetings, old lady. Then to old lady sat down. Good child, I've finally met you. Ko Vai asked, may I know why the old lady is looking for me? To old lady's eyes welled up with tears. Just like her. Your eyes are exactly like hers. Then she turned to ask Luong Ni. Luong Ni, are you doing well in the manor? Luong Ni replied, I'm doing very well. Thank you for your concern, old lady. Ko Vai asked, old lady, who did you just say I look like? Then she took out a necklace. This is what she entrusted to me to keep back then. Now, I finally have the chance to return it to you. To old lady placed it in Ko Vai's hand. But Ko Vai immediately refused. Old lady, I can't accept this. Such a precious item. I cannot take it. But Tu Ni took it and put it around Ko Vai's neck. If the old lady wants you to have it, then take it. Usually when I ask the old lady to give me even half of something, she won't even do that. Then she took out a knife. This is a dagger I personally made for you. I heard that today you taught Tan Lin a lesson. From now on, we're sisters. Ko Vai took the knife and frowned. It's too heavy. But then she felt dizzy as her gold increased by 100,000. Ah, why did I suddenly become rich? This enthusiasm falling from the sky. What's going on? The old madam patted her child. Have you ever heard of your great-grandmother's reputation? Back then, she was a talented woman. Ko Vai looked confused upon hearing this. Over 20 years ago, your great-grandmother fell seriously ill. After she woke up, she seemed to have become a different person. She started trading gemstones. People came in droves, creating a commotion. At first, everyone strongly opposed it. Since ancient times, there had never been a woman who openly traveled everywhere to trade. But the lawn paid no attention to others' opinions. She worked tirelessly day and night, determined to study gemstones. Unexpectedly, she designed gemstone styles that astonished people. Eventually, she opened the largest gemstone shop in the capital, Kim Vu Hien. The gems in the shop would sell out as soon as they were released. Nobles from the entire city lined up to buy. It could be said they were worth their weight in gold. Ko Vai asked what happened after that. Is great-grandmother still in the capital? To old madam sighed, oh. After she gave birth to your mother, she suddenly disappeared. To this day, there's been no news. I don't know if in this life, I'll ever see my sister the lawn. Again, hearing this, Ko Vai thought to herself, it seems great-grandmother also came from modern times like me. Could it be that she found a way to return? Then Ko Vai knelt before the old lady. If the old madam doesn't mind Vai's trouble, Vai will visit you and free grandmother. The old madam looked delighted. Oh, good child, quickly stand up. Then she said to Luong Ni, from now on, she is my precious granddaughter. You must protect her well. Luong Ni's eyes fixed intently on the girl. Ko Vai smiled at him, and he quickly clasped his hands. Yes, old madam. Ko Vai thought to herself, his seductive appearance that tempts others to sin. It's best to protect oneself more. Suddenly, a rope lashed out behind Ko Vai. Tu Ni held a large rope in her hand, me too. Who dares to bully my sister to Tu Ni? My whip, and I won't allow it. Ko Vai forced a smile. Tu Ni, what a nice name. Thank you, sister, for taking care of me. Ah, if I end up disfigured in the future, it will surely be Tu Ni who injured me. She ruefully rubbed her nose. Seeing this, Luong Ni covered his mouth and chuckled. The old madam said, all right, you three may leave. I want to rest for a while into Tu Ni's room. A mess of things on the floor. Tu Ni was rummaging through 6 chests and 6 cabinets, then handed a large staff to Ko Vai. This is the Tien Lang staff, a gift for you for self-defense. No need to be polite. Tu Ni throws the stick to Ko Vai, who catches it and falls over. Tu Ni continues to rummage. I have more than a dozen items. Take them all back to the palace. The stick is about to fall on Ko Vai. Oh, this one is not very stable. Luong Ni immediately comes to support her. The stick falls down with a clang. Looking at Tu Ni's full cabinet. This one and this one too, you can take them all. And this one, Ko Vai pokes Tu Ni. Sister Tu Ni, wait a moment. These are all sharp weapons. They can't enter the palace. Ko Vai holds her hand. Sister, don't worry. There are so many guards in the palace. I'll be fine. Tu Ni sighs. All right then. Just then, a palace maid enters. Young miss, please change clothes. The banquet is about to begin. Ko Vai is surprised. Isn't this the silk that's warm in winter and cool in summer, impenetrable by water and fire mentioned in the book? Tu Ni picks it up. You have a good eye. This is what my mother left behind when she was alive, brought from the western regions by many people. I wear it every year on my birthday. Luong Ni and Ko Vai are surprised. Tu Ni is also shocked. Why is there a hole in the garment? The palace made fearfully kowtows, master, spare my life. It wasn't me. Tu Ni grits her teeth. To Nin Ni. Then she rushes out, running. It must be her. I must chop her to pieces. Luong Ni and Ko Vai run after her. Sister, don't be agitated. In the front hall of Inquak Manor, it's very lively. Ninny holds a cup of tea, blows on it, and smirks. At today's birthday party, I'll make you lose face in front of everyone. At that moment, Tuni enters. Sorry for keeping everyone waiting. She approaches the emperor to pay respects, Your Majesty. Greetings to father. The emperor smiles. Miss Tuya is indeed free-spirited. Quickly stand up. Ningyi eso? How can this be? I clearly cut a hole. Looking at Tuni's dress, it's completely intact. This must be witchcraft. Ko Vai appears behind her, taps her shoulder, startling her. If you don't do bad things, you won't fear ghosts knocking at the door. Then Ninni leaves. I don't understand what you're talking about. Tuni sees Ko Vai and is delighted. Third princess. Then she sends a heart sign to Ko Vai. Thank you. Ko Vai smiles. This time, we were lucky to have Luke Gon Luong. Half an hour ago, Luke Gon Luong took out the dress. I have an identical set. Take it to deal with the situation. Looking at Luke Gon Luong standing in front, Ko Vai eats while wondering, where did Luke Gon Luong get women's clothes? Could he be the big boss in women's clothing? Oh, what am I thinking? Tuni feels down below and doesn't find the whip. Oh, I left my whip in the room. I'll go get it. Ko Vai says, go, go, go. Suddenly, there's a commotion. Someone come quickly. Two young ladies have fallen into the water. And Kwok Song and everyone are shocked. What? Quickly go save them. After Nin Ni is brought ashore, she cries in the arms of her stepmother. Boo-hoo, sister. Why did you push me into the water, sister? Tuni swears she didn't push you. Tuni was then slapped in the face by her father. I know you usually bully Nin Ni, but I didn't expect you to be so cruel as to want her dead like this. Ko Vai immediately intervened to stop in Kwok Kong. Do you have any evidence to prove Tuni did this? Are there any witnesses or physical evidence at the scene? And Kwok Song said seriously, Third princess, please don't interfere in this old minister's family affairs. The emperor said, all citizens of Dai Thin are my subjects. The princess is my daughter. It's not unreasonable for her to intervene. Ninni looked wronged. Father, how could Ninni use her life to deceive people? Ko Vai interrupted, that's not necessarily true. Did anyone here see Tuni push her into the water? Suddenly, No Luong stepped forward. I was about to go back to my room to change clothes when I saw Ninni and Tuni talking to each other. Then, Ninni jumped into the water herself. Ninni opened her mouth wide. Brother, you're lying. No Luong raised 2 fingers. I swear an oath. If I'm lying even half a word, may I not die peacefully. Hearing this, and Kwok Song had to order guards, take Ninni back to her room and confine her. Without my orders, she is not allowed to take half a step outside for half a year. Then Ninni was taken away. She struggled, Father. The emperor said, to govern a country, one must govern their family first. Your Majesty speaks wisely. This old minister will surely remember it in his heart. Then the emperor said, it's getting late. We shall return to the palace. And Kwok Song and the servants bowed. Farewell, Your Majesty. Tuni and No Luong met Ko Vai outside the gate. She shook Ko Vai's hand. Fortunately, the princess was here today. With the princess leaving like this, I don't know how long I'll have to wait to see you again, sister. Ko Vai winked at her. The school days are coming soon. We'll see each other in class. Tuni was surprised. I get a headache just looking at words. Ko Vai pouted. Well, then forget it. It seems you don't want to see me that much. Tuni panicked. No. I agree with you. I'll go to school, okay? Then Tuni pulled No Luong's sleeve. Brother No Luong, come with us too. Whoever doesn't go is a puppy. No Luong was flustered while Ko Vai was looking forward to it. In the carriage, the emperor said to Ko Vai, I still have to approve memorials. I can't escort you back to Phuong Cat. You can't be angry at your father. Okay. Ko Vai cheerfully agreed. Later, upon arriving at Phuong Cat, Ko Vai called out, Mother. Ko Vai carried a large bag of goods, returning victorious. Look what I brought back. Then she opened it, and Sisi Tsung forced this gift on the old lady. Father bought this on the way back to the palace, and this is to Tuni's welcoming gift. It was all glittering gold, silver, and jewels. Suddenly, Tran Chao ran out in panic. Third princess, you're finally back. The empress has summoned her ladyship to Kan Nin Palace. You should go there quickly too. Kovai was surprised. What's happening at Khan Nin Palace? At Khan Nin Palace, Kovai came to pay respects to Her Majesty the Empress. The Empress spoke from her seat. You may rise. Then the palace maid presented an object. I summoned you all here this time because some evidence has been found regarding the recent poisoning of the three princesses. I had people search the inner palace and found a packet of poison in Li Suyi's room at Qingyuge. We originally planned to arrest her for questioning, but Li Suyi has mysteriously disappeared. Only one of her shoes was found by the riverbank. The concubines all covered their mouths and noses. Kovai glanced at that shoe. This shoe looks exactly like the one of the person who was rescued. If it's not a coincidence, Li Suyi must have known who really poisoned me and suffered the consequences. A concubine stood up and said, does this still need investigation? Li Suyi must have committed suicide out of fear of punishment. The Empress questioned, you live in the same Qingyuge as Li Suyi. Why didn't you report her disappearance for days? Then the concubine hugged the two princesses. You only need to care for the first and second princes and one princess. Unlike me, who has to care for two princesses, the fifth prince and the sixth prince. How could I pay attention to Li Suyi? People whispered, how shameless. She brings up the three children at every opportunity, as if afraid others don't know she gave birth to triplets. She was smug about it. Just because I've given His Majesty three children, no one can compete with me for favor, including C.I. Zhao Yuan and you. She looked down at Kovai. Those who stand in my way will all end up like Li Suyi in the end. Kovai thought to herself, so noble consort Lu is the real culprit who poisoned me and Li Suyi. This mind-reading ability really comes in handy. I can't alert her now. When Li Suyi wakes up, I'll deal a fatal blow to noble consort Lu. Noble consort Gao stood up. I thought there was something important. If the investigation is almost complete, I'll take my leave. Noble consort Gao is the birth mother of the second prince, Der, and the niece of the Empress Dowager. After noble consort Gao left, the Empress looked displeased. Kovai thought, it seems the Empress's relationship with noble consorts Lu and Gao is very bad. The enemy of my enemy is my friend. I need to find a way to get the Empress on my side. The Empress said tiredly, I've sent people to the riverside to retrieve Li Suyi's body. If there's any news, I'll summon you all again. That's all for today's matter. You may leave. Yes, Your Majesty. Then the palace maids left. Kovai's mother came over and hugged her. My poor child, you've suffered. No one will dare harm you again. Seeing the mother and daughter, the two princesses passed by with a glare and a huff. She opened one eye slightly to look, but was startled by Kovai's provocative gaze. Then the two princesses hurriedly followed consort Lu. Mother Kovai sneered, what, you think I'm afraid of you? That night, regarding Fuangyi, Mother Kovai reminded, go to bed early. Don't forget you have school tomorrow. The maid beside her said, Princess, don't worry. I've helped you put the packages in your room's closet. Kovai was delighted. Mother, quickly go back to your room and rest. Then she closed the door. Lai Tu-gi's condition on the sickbed seemed to worsen. It's so cold. Kovai took out acupuncture needles, trying to hold on. Lai Tu-gi, you can't have anything happen to you. I'm still waiting for you to wake up and be a witness. Kovai kept applying acupuncture repeatedly. After a while, she sat down, panting. Finally, the fever has gone down. But to quickly cure her, we still need another herb. If only we could find some red spirit mushroom. Then she collapsed too. The next day, in Kovai's room, Tran Chao panicked, third princess, please wake up. Today is the first day of school. You can't be late or others will laugh at you. Kovai, with droopy eyes and dark circles, woke up all right. In the classroom, the old teacher Hoke, Tri-Kin, was lecturing. Today I will teach you to recite the 1,000-character classic. Heaven and earth, dark and yellow, the universe vast and wide. Suddenly he choked, seeing Kovai dozing off in class. Tri-Kin tapped her arm. Kovai startled awake, confused what's wrong. Tri-Kin asked, what did I just teach? Recite it once for me. If you can't, then you don't need to attend my classes anymore. Kovai stood up nervously. It seems like No Luong behind her secretly gestured in his palm. Immediately, Kovai straightened up. Heaven and earth, dark and yellow, the universe vast and wide. Sun and moon, beacons of time, stars spread across the sky. The old teacher taught the 1,000-character classic. Master, did I recite it correctly? Kin frowned. Consider yourself having passed this time. Next time you sleep again, don't bother coming anymore. Then he turned and left. Class dismissed. Everyone take a 15-minute break. Ko-Vi yawned. Then she turned to thank No Luong. Thank you for prompting me just now. No Luong asked, did you all go coal mining last night? Ko-Vi gestured for silence. Shoo, this is a secret. Then she took out a piece of paper on the table. Can you help me buy this? I need it urgently to save someone. No Luong shook his head. Red spirit mushroom has the power to bring back the dead. It's extremely precious. Ordinary people haven't even seen it, let alone buy it. Ko-Vi said, that's why I'm begging you. Suddenly, Tuni appeared squeezing between the two. I've seen it on the mountain behind here before. She pulled Ko-Vi's hand. Third princess, I'll take you to find it. No Luong also chased after them. As soon as he appeared, several female classmates flocked around him. Are you interested in painting? Your seat doesn't have a cushion. Why don't you switch to sit next to me? Here's a flower for you. If you like it, I'll give you another one tomorrow. No Luong holds himself back. Don't stop me. At the mountain behind, Ko-Vi holds a mushroom in her hand. Is this the red Lingji you saw? Tuni says that's right. Isn't it supposed to be red? Ko-Vi immediately questions. Tell the truth. Are you colorblind? Tuni is surprised. What's colorblindness? Can you eat it? Cool, VCs. Fine, just take it home and boil it. Then throws it to Tuni. Suddenly, there's a melodious flute sound from somewhere. Ko-Vi is surprised. How come there's someone in this desolate mountain? I'll go check it out. Tuni follows behind, whispering, wait for me. Ko-Vi parts the bushes. This sound is coming from behind. She encounters a young man playing the flute. They both freeze when their eyes meet. The flute in his hand falls. Then he runs away. Ko-Vi is puzzled. Why is he running? Ko-Vi walks over and picks up the flute. It's a pity to lose such a precious jade flute. Then she tucks it into her clothes to keep it safe. No Luong arrives just then. So, have you found the red Lingji? Tuni comes out of the bushes. Third princess runs so fast. Ko-Vi helplessly points to No Luong. The Lingji is too fat. Tonight's dinner for Inquak Manor is settled. Hearing this, No Luong can only laugh awkwardly. Tuni asks third princess, did you see the flute player? No Luong is surprised. What flute player? Ko-Vi sighs. I saw him. But as soon as he saw me, he ran away. Hearing this, Tuni laughs loudly. Maybe he's like us, here to look for Lingji. No Luong rests his chin, speculating. Suddenly I remember. In the Emperor's treasury, there's a red Lingji. Hearing this, Ko-Vi is startled. That makes it easy then. At the archery training ground, the Emperor is sitting with the general. I didn't know your majesty would come here today. I wasn't prepared to welcome you. Please forgive me. The Emperor then says, my dear subject, there's no need for that. I came here today to see the performance of the princesses. In archery training, whoever can win first place today, I will agree to reward that person with any treasure they desire. Ko-Vi and two princesses are standing in front of the archery table. The two princesses hold darts in their hands. 2 years ago, I played darts and hit the target 100 times out of 100. Archery won't be difficult for me. Ko-Vi just thinks, I will definitely get the red Lingji. But suddenly another princess comes and snatches the bow and arrow. Father, let me. Then she draws the bow and hits the target. People outside applaud. Second princess is very good at archery. The Emperor calmly says that's fine, but still a bit hasty. Ko-Vi stands in front of the archery table. I can do it too. Then she picks up the bow and draws it. Here I come, red Lingji. People whisper, just by looking you can tell she's an expert. Third princess has such a strong aura. The general and the Emperor were also observing intently, but the arrow stuck into the ground. Xiao was surprised. This isn't like what I imagined. The two princesses laughed loudly. Ha ha. Then she picked up the arrow. Just by looking at you, I can tell this is your first time shooting an arrow. Do you need your sister to teach you? Suddenly, she became panicked. You, what are you doing? You can't play with arrows like that. Xiao was drawing the bow, aiming at the two princesses. Let's try again and see. Sister, quickly get out of the way. The arrow flew past, grazing the two princesses' hair, making them turn pale with fear. Xiao laughed smugly, pleased with herself. Sister, I didn't mean to. It slipped for a moment. Don't mind it, okay. You're still laughing. You scared us to death. The Emperor shook his head, sighed, and smiled. Vire, your archery skills and the Crown Prince's archery skills can both be called the best in the world. COV asked, so does that mean I can ask for a treasure from you? The emperor laughed loudly. Ha ha ha, the crown prince is the best in the world. You are the worst in the world. The treasure can only be given to the crown prince. The crown prince has been memorizing since he could speak. As soon as he could walk, he started practicing archery and martial arts. For the past 10 years, day and night in the library, except for eating and sleeping, he has never been lazy and has never made me worry about him. Hearing this, COV held herself back. Besides eating and sleeping, he still has to study and train. Isn't this depriving him of all the joys of childhood? COV stood with her arms crossed. How can there be such a perfect person? It sounds too good to be true. I don't believe it. Then the emperor ordered the eunuch to call the crown prince from the library. Soon after, the crown prince arrived. The crown prince came before the emperor and bowed, saying, "Your child pays respects to Father Emperor." The emperor then said, "No need for formalities. Stand up." Then the crown prince stood up. COV was shocked. "It's him." The emperor was surprised. "Have you met him before?" The crown prince's face tensed up. Seeing this, COV answered the emperor, "Never met before. I didn't know there was someone as handsome as Crown Prince Brother in this world." Hearing this, the crown prince let out a sigh of relief. "Third sister is teasing me." The two princesses standing beside pouted. "Only knows how to flatter others." Then the emperor handed the bow to the crown prince. "Today, I want to see your archery skills." The crown prince took the bow and replied, "Certainly." Then he drew the bow several times in succession, all hitting the target. Everyone watching outside gaped in admiration. This archery skill, even if an ordinary person practiced for 2 years, it would be hard to match. Wow, the crown prince is so impressive. The emperor put his hand on his shoulder and praised him. "Your archery has improved more than last month." "Not bad. You are the future crown prince who will inherit the kingdom. Don't forget the responsibility on your shoulders. Don't be negligent or lazy." Hearing this, the crown prince bowed. "I will remember Father Emperor's teachings." COV saw this and thought to herself, "This crown prince is so young, yet already so perfect. Who knows how much effort has been put in behind the scenes?" She held the jade flute in her hand. "This must be something he cherishes. I should return it to him." Then the emperor gave a treasure to him. "I will give you the red spirit mushroom." The crown prince accepted it, thanking the emperor for the red spirit mushroom. Kovai's eyes widened. "I might as well borrow his red spirit mushroom." As class ended, the emperor asked Kovai, "Do you want to return to the palace with me?" Kovai looked tired. "I get motion sickness. It's better if I walk back." The emperor sighed in disappointment. Then the two princesses came over. "Father, I want to ride back with you." But seeing his intense gaze, the princess became afraid. "These days, Mother has been ill, and our 2 younger brothers have no one to care for them. Please visit Mother." The emperor sighed. "All right then." Watching the emperor get into the carriage, Tuni stood with her hands on her hips and exclaimed, "How shameless. Stealing your position again." Kovai crossed her arms. "Let her go. I have other plans." No Luong then said, "I'll take you back to the palace." Suddenly, there was a call, "Brother." Kovai ran forward and got into the crown prince's carriage. "Brother, please take me back to the palace on your way." Then she approached him and said, "I have something for you." The crown prince agreed. "All right." No Luong stood with Tuni, waving goodbye to the third princess. Then turning to No Luong, she was startled. "Brother Chicken, what's wrong?" No Luong replied forcefully, "I'm fine." In the carriage, Kovai took out the jade flute. "This is the jade flute you dropped behind the mountain. I'm returning it to you. Also, I have a favor to ask. Can you share half of your red spirit mushroom with me, or not?" The crown prince gripped the jade flute tightly. Kovai tried to persuade him. "Please, please." The crown prince fake coughed, and then replied to Kovai, "I was planning to save this red spirit mushroom for my mother. I can't give it to you, unless you can do something for me." Hearing the crown prince say this, Kovai panicked, thinking, what is it? He doesn't want me to climb a mountain of swords or dive into a sea of fire, does he? The crown prince laughed and said, "This task isn't difficult. Just keep the matter of the jade flute a secret. I'll give you a whole box of red spirit mushroom." Then he handed the box to her. Kovai excitedly hugged the crown prince tightly. In the future, little sister will definitely repay big brother. After returning to the palace, it started raining heavily outside. Kovai carried a bowl of red spirit mushroom soup. "Here it is." She fed it to Li Tu-gi. "This is what I worked hard to get. Drink more, don't waste it." Li Tu-gi whoop whoop. She panicked and begged, "Please don't kill me." Kovai quickly reassured Li Tu-gi, "Don't be afraid. I'm the third princess. I'm not a bad person. You're safe now." but she asked herself, who is Li Tu-gi? Kovai was surprised. You don't remember your identity. Do you remember who wanted to kill you? Li Tu-gi satcharcht. I only remember being knocked out from behind. I can't remember anything else. Kovai checked her pulse. The problem isn't serious. Your memory loss is only temporary. It won't be long before you can recover. Kovai questioned, do you want to live? Hearing this, Li Tu-gi was surprised. On the other side, Tu Kui-tan was sitting at a lavish dining table waiting. She ordered Non Xian to go reheat the food. Non Xian was surprised. My lady, the dishes have already been heated once. Perhaps His Majesty won't come tonight. Why don't you eat first, my lady? Tu Kui-tan shook her head sadly. She looked at the rain outside. His Majesty said he would come tonight. I believe he will definitely come. At Tan Nak Kat, His Majesty visited Lu Kui-fai. Leave these imperial physicians here to care for her. I still have some matters to attend to tonight. I can't stay with you. Lu Kui-fai then pulled on His Majesty's sleeve. Your Majesty, where are you going? Don't leave me. It's raining heavily outside with thunder and lightning. In such heavy rain, it's easy to catch a cold. Your Majesty's health is important. Why don't you stay here? But His Majesty ignored her. I have plans already. Suddenly, Lu Kui-fi kolap. His Majesty hurriedly caught her. Ai-fi, quick, save her. At Fuanggi Pavilion, early the next morning, Kovai frantically opened the door and ran into her mother's room. Mother, what's wrong? Her mother was lying in bed, coughing incessantly. It's nothing, just a cold from the rain. I'll be fine by tomorrow. Then she handed Kovai a stack of papers. This is half of Kim Vu Hong's land deed. Keep it safe. I'm temporarily keeping the other half with your father. When you need it, you can retrieve that half. Kovai was surprised. Why are you suddenly giving this to me? Her mother stroked her head. Yesterday, I watched the rain outside and thought all night. Rather than focusing all efforts on competing for a man's true love with a group of women, it's better to think of ways to ensure that my daughter won't have to worry about food and clothing in the future. Kovai angrily said, did father bully you? I'll get revenge for you. But her mother said, no, I'm tired and need to rest for a while. You go out now. Then Kovai went out and questioned Non Xian. Tell me what happened last night. She demanded to know what had occurred the previous night. Non Xian hesitated. Last night was the first day my lady and His Majesty were to meet. His Majesty had promised to come to my lady, but my lady waited the entire night. From His Majesty's side, not even a messenger came to deliver news. This morning, before dawn, someone deliberately passed by Tan Nak Yuan. It said His Majesty took care of Lu Kui-fai there all night. On the other side, His Majesty arrived announcing loudly, Ai-fi, Hin Hai, I brought delicious breakfast for you too. But he was surprised. Where's the princess? Non Xian then said, the princess said she's ill and doesn't want to eat. She invites your Majesty to dine alone. Hearing this, His Majesty's face darkened. The horse-drawn carriage was leaving the city. Li Tu-gi sat in it with Gu Wei. She was surprised. Third princess, where are we going? Gu Wei then said, if you stay in the palace, you'll be discovered sooner or later. I have to hide you in a safe place. Tu-gi smiled. Thank you, Gu Wei replied. It's all right. Anyway, I'm not doing this entirely for you. We'll figure out what to do when you regain your memory. Besides, now is not the time to confront Lu Guifei. Suddenly, the carriage hit a pebble, causing a strong jolt. Gu Wei, motion sick, covered her mouth with her hand. How can you get motion sickness when you need to ride in a carriage? Tu-gi panicked. Third princess, are you all right? Are you feeling unwell somewhere? Gu Wei signaled. No, it's nothing. I'm just a bit motion sick. Then Tu-gi opened the carriage window. Quick, open the window and breathe some air. Don't let it get noisy. Suddenly, the carriage stopped. An old lady below looked up and was startled. She shouted, Ah, ghost! Ah, your highness, there's a ghost. Ah, Li Tu-gi has come back to life. Lu Guifei immediately gave her a hard slap. What ghost are you talking about? Dead people can't come back to life. I think you're just old and confused. The old lady then said, this old servant wouldn't dare lie to your highness. I saw with my own eyes Li Tu-gi sitting in the third princess's carriage leaving the palace during the day. Lu Guifei heard this and became angry. It's that demonic girl Gu Wei again. Last time the poison didn't kill her. This time a dead Li Tu-gi has appeared and returned. Could it be that she has something helping her? Go get this palace's jade pendant. The jade pendant was brought out. Daring to compete with me for my position, whether human or ghost, I will make them meet the king of hell. Lu Guifei's vicious eyes flashed. Inform Jueying Hall that as soon as these two are discovered outside the palace, they must be killed without leaving a trace. The third princess's carriage was moving through a forest road. Several men were following behind. The driver noticed something. He had already been attacked by those men outside, covered in blood. Li Tongyi and Gu Wei inside were panicked. Third princess, I think the carriage has stopped. Those men pulled up the blood-stained curtain. The masked man spoke up and asked, "You are the third princess, aren't you?" He immediately got Gu Wei's vomit on his face. How lovely. Then he drew his sword. Too bad you won't live past today. Gu Wei panicked. What? She took out her flying needles. It won't be that easy to catch me. Watch my flying needles. Then 3 flying needles shot towards him, but he dodged them easily. Such a petty skill, and you dare to use it in front of Juying Hall. But suddenly the carriage tilted. The horse, pulling it, suddenly bolted, causing him to fall to the ground. Ouch! The others ran over. Boss, are you all right? The carriage had already run far away. He got up, disheveled and angry. Chase after them. Kill them all. Then the group chased after them. Kovai was controlling the horse. Horse brother, please run quickly. As long as you can help me shake them off, I promise to provide you with grass for life. The horse, hearing this, was delighted and ran faster. Litugi sat incite, frightened. Third princess, are we about to die? Kovai was also panicked. That's right. If this carriage doesn't stop, I'm going to throw up. Suddenly, a knife flew from the top of the carriage towards Tugi. She screamed, "Kovai, grab my hand and run." The two jumped off the carriage, both falling face first onto the ground. Those guys had caught up. He raised his sword high, mission accomplished. But suddenly a book flew and blocked the sword. No Luong appeared. Seeing this, Kovai was surprised. He spoke to those guys. "Stop. Fighting me is easy death." Those people surrounded him. He questioned No Luong, "Just relying on you." Then grabbed No Luong's shoulder. "I just need to move a finger, and I can crush your bones." Seeing this, Kovai worried. It's over. Alone he can't fight against so many assassins. She took something out. I must help him. But No Luong smirked. "Well, you look and see." Suddenly, No Luong disappeared, confusing them. Then he reappeared behind him. After that, the whole group was suddenly attacked. No Luong lifted his chin, one hand firmly holding the other's hand. "Still want to fight me?" He panicked. Since when? Seeing this, Kovai was surprised by his combat power. Does my mind-reading skill have this function too? The leader's combat power is 5,000. His henchman's is 3,000, while No Luong's is 10,000. The ones attacked, lying flat on the ground, were gradually losing their combat power. Kovai's jaw dropped. So cool, the handsome boy's combat power is like hacking. Suddenly another one appeared behind No Luong with a sword. "Release our boss. You little brat, sneak attacks are no skill. Just now we weren't prepared. If you have skills, fight us head on." No Luong was surprised. "I sneak attack." Then he released him. He immediately backed away. "If you want to die, that's fine." Then he shouted, "Brothers, attack." Suddenly the leader said, "Stop." They whispered to each other. "This young man has extraordinary skills. Even all of us together might not be his match. Retreat first." They immediately sheathed their swords. Then said to No Luong, "Young man, you're too weak. We don't fight the weak." No Luong mocked. "This time consider yourselves lucky. I'll let you live a few more days. Or do you want one more? Fight." They ran away at full speed. "Run quickly." No Luong stood with hands behind his back, surprised. Then he turned around. After defeating those guys, No Luong turned to ask the two, "Kovai, are you injured anywhere?" Kovai replied, "We're fine. Thank you for saving us just in time. Otherwise, we'd be done for." She patted her chest. "Do you know where they came from?" No Luong then used a cloth to wipe the dirt off her dress. "Doi Enka, a mysterious assassination organization in the capital. What trouble did you cause them?" Kovai pondered. I might have accidentally offended them." No Luong immediately said, "Tuet on Kak doesn't kill people outside of missions. There's no such thing as accidentally. You're a princess, yet you left the palace without guards. Don't you know that will make others worry?" "Cool, Visite. Didn't I already meet you?" She looked up at No Luong. The two stared at each other, making his heart beat irregularly. Then Kovai covered his mouth with her hand. "Oh, right, absolutely don't tell my mother about this. Her health isn't good, she'll be scared." No Luong turned his face away and replied, "Besides your mother, your friends will also worry about you." Kovai asked in surprise, "You? Who?" No Luong blushed and answered me. "My sister is Tatuni." Then Kovai laughed loudly, patting No Luong's shoulder. "Haha, at least she still has a conscience. Let's keep today's events a secret between us." I'll repay your kindness in the future. Then she left with Lee Tu-gi. I have some business to attend to at Kim Vu-hien. People were bustling in and out noisily. Ko-vi was stunned when she reached the gate. The dazzling signboard, "This can't be made of real gold, can it? This is the ancestral gold mine I'm about to inherit. How wonderful." Suddenly, a man ran out from inside, shouting, "Ah, I'm dying of pain." An angry girl was chasing him, hitting him with a cloth bundle. "Go back and tell your second prince that I, Tu Huin, want to cancel the engagement with him." But the young man muttered, "You don't know what's good for you. You'll regret it." Tu Huin sneered, "Regret? If I marry him, I'd be the one making the same mistake again." Ko-vi held back. "What's going on?" A female reincarnator. Ko-vi stood listening to the people around discussing. After the eldest young Miss Tu-gia fell ill, she's determined to cancel the engagement with the second prince. All the people the second prince sent have been chased away by her. Such a strange thing. Could she have been stimulated by something? Then Ko-vi pulled Lee Tu-gi along. "Let's go in too." Tu Huin turned to go in. Ko-vi was excited. "Perhaps I can get a lot of useful information from this female reincarnator." Inside was crowded and lively. Suddenly, a tall person blocked her way. "Stop. Beggars are not allowed in the shop." The two of them looked very dusty. Ko-vi was surprised. "Who's a beggar?" Lee Tu-gi replied, "I think he's talking about us." Hearing this, Ko-vi was thunderstruck. "Nonsense. Have you ever seen a beggar as beautiful as this?" But he pushed her away, saying, "Go away quickly. You're still standing there interfering with our business. I'll throw you out right away." Lee Tunji grabbed his arm. "Insolent commoner. Don't be disrespectful. She is the third princess." But he pushed Lee Tunji away. "Stinking beggar. Don't touch me. Get out of the way." Lee Tunji fell and hit her head hard on a pillar. Her memories suddenly flashed. That night, under the late moonlight, concubine Liu ordered her subordinates to quickly dispose of the drug residue. "Absolutely don't let anyone find out." Gu Wei growled and sank her teeth into his hand. "The villain bit me to death. My hand hurts so much." He angrily raised his hand high. "You little bitch. Today I'm going to teach you a lesson." Suddenly a voice said, "Stop." Xiao Huan appeared. "You're so bold. She is the current third princess." That man was shocked. "What?" Xiao Hui then said, "According to the laws of Desheng, whoever disrespects the royal family either becomes the lowest slave forever or has their entire clan executed. You choose." Hearing this, the man fearfully bowed before Gu Wei. "I'm sorry. This lowly one was blind and offended the third princess. Please, your highness, be merciful and spare this lowly one." Xiao Huan then ordered, "It's too late to apologize now. Guards, take him away. Sell him to the black market as the lowest slave." As he was being dragged away, he cried out, "No, no. Please, princess, spare my life." Gu Wei stood pensively beside Xiao Huan. She looked to the side and saw Lee Tunji in pain. She ran over to support Lee Tunji. "Are you all right?" Tunji, with a pained expression, said, "Third princess, I remember now. Before I was knocked unconscious, I saw a woman with a noble appearance pouring strange drug residue into the bushes." Hearing this, Gu Wei was overjoyed. "That's great. Just go to Qingyu Pavilion to find evidence, and we can punish concubine Liu." At that moment, Xiao Huan approached them, clasping her hands. "I'm sorry. It's all my fault for not fulfilling my duty and not managing the servants well, offending the third princess. Please punish me." Gu Wei then said, "Your Z family has also helped me and my mother take care of Jinyu Pavilion. I'll let this incident go for now. In the future, manage your servants more strictly." Xiao Huan replied, "Yes." Then Gu Wei helped Tunji stand up. "I came to Jinyu Pavilion today to ask everyone to take care of my friend until her body fully recovers." Hearing this, Xiao Huan respectfully said, "You are the owner of Jinyu Pavilion. Of course this small matter is for you to decide." After handing over the person, Gu Wei left. I've been out of the palace for too long today. I'll come visit her another day." But Xiao Hui grabbed her hand and turned her back. "Third princess, you must be careful of the people from Fuan Duke's mansion, especially the one surnamed Liu." Hearing Xiao Huan say this, Gu Wei was surprised. "What did you say?" Then Xiao Huan recounted, "You may not believe this, third princess, but I had a very long nightmare. In the dream, you and I were close sisters. I saw with my own eyes the princess being assassinated. Wu Liang held pliers and stabbed straight into Ko-vi's body." Hearing this, Ko-vi was terrified. "No, it can't be," Tu Huin said. "If the princess doesn't believe it, you can consider it just a nightmare of Yu Yan Ni." A moment later, Ko-vi returned to her room, and collapsed on her bed. Going out once is exhausting. Her eyes were drowsy with sleep. Sleep a bit first. Wait until dark, then go to Tan Nok Pavilion to find the drug residue. Then Ko Vai fell into a deep sleep. In the rain, Ko Vai dreamed of Gan Luong holding a long sword. He stood floating in front of her. "You demon woman, I must kill you." Ko Vai fearfully crawled at his feet begging, Don't kill me. I'm not a demon woman." But Gan Luong didn't listen and used his sword to stab straight into her chest, splattering blood. Ko Vai woke up startled in panic. She was still shouting loudly, "Don't kill me." Then Ko Vai struggled to sit up, calming herself, "Scared myself to death again. Luckily, it was just a nightmare." Just then, suddenly someone handed her a cup of water. "Drink some water." Ko Vai smiled and took it. "Thank you." She took a sip, then felt itchy and looked to the side. It was Wu Liang standing beside her bed. Ko Vai stared blankly. Looking up, she saw the sword by his side. "Ko Vi wonder?" Wu Liang asked Ko Vai, "What nightmare did the third princess have?" Ko Vai immediately spat the water in her mouth onto his face. "Why are you in my room?" Wu Liang said, "I heard a noise in the room, so I came in." Drops of water were streaming down Wu Liang's face. Is this the repayment the third princess mentioned earlier today?" Ko Vai hurriedly explained, "No, just now I dreamed a villain wanted to kill me." Wu Liang forced a smile and asked, "Am I that villain?" Ko Vai's mind? Of course not. He just saved me today. How could I repay kindness with resentment to my benefactor? Then she used the hem of her dress to rub his face. "I'm sorry, I'll clean it for you right away." But Wu Liang pushed her hand away. No need. I dare not trouble the princess." Ko Vai panicked. "It's over. He won't forgive me." Ko Vai then forced herself towards him. "Oh no, it's fine. I know I was wrong. Please don't be upset with me." But Wu Liang stepped back, causing Ko Vai to trip and fall onto the bed. Wu Liang quickly lay on the floor to catch her. "Princess, are you hurt?" Ko Vai smiled. "Why is it so beautiful like this?" Suddenly at that moment, Tu Kui Tan came in calling for her daughter. "Are you awake, dear?" She saw the scene of the two of them. The atmosphere in the room became quiet. Tu Kui Tan was shocked. You too." The two of them stood up. Ko Vai explained, "Mother, things are not as you think." Hearing this, she calmed down. "That's great. Seeing you two like this, I'm relieved. I was worried you two wouldn't get along in the future." Hearing this, they both wondered being together. Fourth consort Qin then said, "Since the last time you had an incident, I've always been worried. So, I've been looking for someone capable of protecting you." Gu Yi shyly said, "Mother, although I'm very lovable and well-liked, I'm only 3.5 years old. It's a bit early for engagement." Fourth consort Qin explained engagement. "What engagement?" "He's a personal bodyguard that I spend a lot of money to hire to take care of you day and night." Hearing this, Gu Yi felt petrified and slowly crumbled. She teared up, thinking, "How embarrassing, I just misunderstood everything." After all this talk, Mother had planted eyes and ears to monitor her conveniently. Then Gu Yi said to her mother, "Mother, I can take care of myself. I don't need anyone else's help." She thought to herself, "I can't let him follow me forever. Like this, how can I go look for the medicine residue?" But fourth consort Qin disagreed. "No, I've already paid 50,000 taels a month." Hearing this, Gu Yi exclaimed, "What? That's too expensive." Then she signaled Wu Liang to go out with her. "Our family can't afford a bodyguard. Return our hard-earned money." Fourth consort Qin made a cutting gesture with her finger. Unilaterally canceling the contract requires compensation, 1,000 times the amount. "Do you have the money?" Gu Yi collapsed on the floor. "My entire fortune. 298,201 copper coins. 1,000 times 50 million taels. I don't have the money." Then fourth consort Qin triumphantly put her hand on Wu Liang's shoulder. "I've specially sent people to gather information. He's the best student in martial arts from all the digital libraries. This money is guaranteed not to be wasted." Gu Yi read the combat power on his body. Combat power, 10,000 points. This strategy is indeed worthwhile, but I don't need it now. That night, Wu Liang sat outside her room door. Gu Yi came with a plate of cookies and touched his hand. "You must be tired from guarding for so long. Have some cinnamon cookies to fill your stomach." Then Wu Liang took a cookie and ate a bite. Gu Yi smiled. "I made them myself. Are they fragrant?" After eating, Wu Liang became unsteady. "The cinnamon scent is too strong. I feel a bit dizzy." He fell onto her. Gu Yi triumphantly patted his head. Of course it's fragrant. I deliberately put sleeping pills in for you. Just sleep here for a while. I'll come back when I'm done. Then Gu Yi pulled her cloak, covered her face, and left. Qin Yucao, here I come. After Gu Yi left, Wu Liang opened his eyes and looked after her. At Qin Yucao, on a moonlit night without a soul in sight, Gu Yi arrived carrying a shovel. Heaven help me, there's not a soul in the backyard. I can search slowly. Then she started digging at each tree. Suddenly, she felt a pair of eyes behind her staring intently. Gu Yi turned around but saw nothing. Could it be an illusion? Why do I keep feeling like something's watching me? Then Gu Yi stood up, sighed, and walked away. Don't be paranoid. The main task is more important. Then she continued digging. Suddenly, she hit something. It's the medicine residue. I found it. If you don't want others to know, then don't do it. What's wrong with burying it so deep? In the end, I still found it. Kovai picked it up and put it in the bag, then tied the bag's mouth. She excitedly exclaimed, Lu Kui Fai, you're finished. Then Kovai tucked it inside her clothes. After that, she stood up. Suddenly, a large beast appeared. It pounced towards her. Kovai fell backwards, thinking, am I dreaming? How could there be a tiger in the palace? At that moment, Lu Kui Fai and her subordinates arrived. What's going on? The sound came from the back garden. Go check it out quickly. Kovai saw the lamplight and knew people were coming. She panicked. Not good. I'm about to be discovered. I must hide quickly. But the tiger behind her bit her clothes. Kovai stabbed it with her hairpin, but it had no effect. Then it lifted her up by its mouth. It's over. This type of needle can't pierce a tiger's skin. Is my final fate to be eaten by a tiger? Then the tiger tossed Kovai far away. I haven't been eaten. Beside Kovai were 2 tiger cubs. Are these newborn tigers? Seeing the mother tiger with teary eyes, Kovai asked, you want to take your cubs away? It just whimpered. Meanwhile, Lu Kui Fai was ordering people to search. No one's here. Then a subordinate whipped the tiger hard. Who told you to roar in the middle of the night? He continued to strike it with a rope. If you weren't still useful, I would have cooked you long ago. Kovai, sitting on a high branch, looked down and saw the tiger being tortured, letting out cries of pain. She held the 2 cubs in her arms. Despicable, abusing animals like that. Later, the mother tiger was bleeding. Lu Kui Fai stopped him. Don't kill it. We're still waiting for it to give birth to cubs for medicine. Then the tiger growled, broke its chains, and pounced on that subordinate. It bit his shoulder with one bite. Then the mother tiger closed her eyes from exhaustion. Lu Kui Fai panicked. Quickly, take it for treatment. The court lady fearfully replied, yes then. The subordinate was also taken away. Later, Kovai came down from the tree. She approached the dead mother tiger. Kovai held back tears. Don't worry, I will definitely not let your cubs fall into the hands of evil people, to be tortured. Suddenly, Lu Kui Fai returned. Indeed, there was a thief in the back garden. Guards, catch that thief and bring back the divine beast. Suddenly, several men appeared and surrounded Kovai. Yes, Kovai was surrounded. They're too fast. These people don't look like palace guards. Suddenly, the bag tore and the 2 tiger cubs burst out. Kovai reached out to catch them. Don't be afraid. I'll save you. But she was immediately slashed on the hand. Kovai's theme. That man grabbed the cloth bag, then handed the 2 cubs to Lu Kui Fai. Your Highness, the divine beasts have been recaptured. Lu Kui Fai stood with folded arms, pleased. Very good. The 2 tiger cubs saw her and still growled. As for this little girl, take her to Tan Nok Palace. I will make it disappear from this world. Lu Gui Fei sneered. If Gu Wei is to blame, blame yourself for coming to the door and seeing things you shouldn't see. Gu Wei pondered that she had been too subjective. She took out silver needles in her hand. The number of silver needles before her eyes was not enough to deal with so many people. At that moment, suddenly firecrackers were thrown. They started emitting thick smoke. They panicked. What's happening? Can't see anything anymore. Yin Liang appeared behind Gu Wei and then carried her away. In an instant, the area around them was empty. Lu Guifei gritted her teeth in anger. She shouted loudly, You've all run away. What do I need you for? Quickly chase after them. Then she ran off at full speed. Yes. Meanwhile, Yin Liang took Gu Wei to hide behind a wall. Gu Wei finally sighed in relief. Finally escaped. She stared blankly at him in front of her, who was covering his face. Then he pulled down the cloth. 6th Yin Liang, it's really you. Why are you here? So you weren't asleep. Yin Liang then took out a banknote. Need money to work? Gu Wei thought to herself. Almost forgot. He's the spy mother hired with a large sum of money. Then Gu Wei pretended. If I say I came here for a walk, would you believe me? She worried. If he tells mother, I'll be doomed. Seeing this, Yin Liang silently thought for a moment. He answered. Hearing this, Gu Wei sighed in relief. Unexpectedly, he actually believed it. It seems that being a bit clueless sometimes has its uses. But what does clueless mean? Then Gu Wei took out from her pocket. I still have something to deal with. You go back first. She handed out a silver tael. As long as you keep this secret from my mother, I will reward you generously. Gu Wei thought of the two tiger cubs waiting tearfully. Never mind, the tiger cubs are still waiting for me. Yin Liang also took the money and put it away, but he didn't move at all. Gu Wei was surprised. Why haven't you left yet? Yin Liang kept staring at her arm and said, wait a moment. In a moment, he moved his hands. He had bandaged her arm and even tied a shiny bow. Gu Wei smiled. Thank you. Such skillful technique. Suddenly, a group of people carrying lanterns approached. The Empress is coming. Gu Wei panicked. The Empress. Why is the Empress also coming to Qingyu Garden? Half an hour earlier in the palace, the Empress suddenly saw a piece of paper on the table. The Empress glanced outside, then picked it up and read. Lu Guifei and a mysterious man are dating in Qingyu Garden. Go quickly. It turned out this note was placed by 6th Yin Liang. After confirming the Empress had seen it, he also left. Looking at the content on the paper, the Empress was full of surprise, but also secretly pleased. I don't know where this paper came from. Finding out Lu Guifei's weakness, I absolutely cannot miss this opportunity. Immediately after, the Empress sat in her palanquin and solemnly went there. At this moment, Kovai sat in a corner, secretly hiding and worrying. There are so many guards in the palace. How can I get in to rescue Little Tiger? Suddenly, a voice approached the third princess. Have you lost the 2 Kylans I gave you today? It turned out to be Luke Luongan. He sat down gently and asked her, why don't you go inside, and ask the Empress to help find them? Kovai looked at him blankly and whispered, what Kylans? Suddenly, she had a flash of realization. That's right, Little Yellow and Little Blue, my beloved pets, are lost. Fortunately, someone was by her side. The sudden happiness made him bewildered as well. He unconsciously blushed, feeling a bit shy. In a moment, the Empress arrived. She hurriedly stepped down from her palanquin. Your Majesty, please step down slowly. Immediately, Lu Guifei came out to stop her. I wonder why your Majesty has suddenly come to visit. What is the matter? The Empress calmly replied, the Imperial kitchen has made new sweets. I want to taste them with my sister. Lu Guifei, seeing this, gently bowed and declined. I have already had dinner and cannot eat anymore. Please, your Majesty, return. Seeing this behavior of hers, the Empress became more certain that the content on the note was true. You won't let me in. There must be something suspicious in here. The Empress boldly stepped in. The maid following her bumped into Lu Guifei, causing her to be pushed aside. It's fine. I'll go in and talk with my sister. Suddenly, Kovai looked around and shouted, boo-hoo. Little Yellow, Little Blue, please come out. Don't play hide and seek with me anymore. Lu Guifei turned her head, saw it was Kovai, and became very annoyed, thinking to herself, how dare she come here again? What trick is she up to this time? The Empress, curious, gently asked third princess, it's late. Why have you come here? Kovai blankly exclaimed, Your Majesty, are you here too? Kovai gestured to the Empress. Have you seen 2 little kittens? Round and chubby like this. The Empress said, I just arrived and haven't seen anything. Kovai grabbed the Empress's robe and burst into tears. Oh, could it be that my kittens will never come back? The Empress patted her head. How about I send someone to help you look for them? When I was young, I also had a cat. Unfortunately, it died later. No Luong pointed to the side. I've been searching around with the third princess. There's only one area left unchecked. They might have wandered in there while playing. Lu Guifei, panicked and angry, said, how absurd. How could your kittens be in my chambers? From Chiu Veen spoiling. The third princess is becoming more and more ill-mannered. The Empress smiled. The third princess is just anxious to find her pets. Sister, you've tried every way to stop us. Could it be that Tan Na Cat has something that others shouldn't see? Lu Guifei glared at them. Then Lu Guifei was stopped by the maids. She was still very angry. What exactly do you want to do? The Empress led Kovai and her group of subordinates inside. Anyway, tonight I will thoroughly search Tan Na Cat. Searching for 2 more cats won't make much difference. Ko Vai, walking with the Empress, flattered her. Indeed, Mother didn't lie to me. Her Majesty the Empress is the most reasonable person in the world. Hearing this, the Empress was pleased. That night, under the bright moonlight, the palace guards and maids searched everywhere. The Empress stood supervising. Search carefully. Absolutely do not miss any corner. The subordinates replied yes. Ko Vai stood beside, crying boo-hoo. It's my fault for not watching the cats. The Empress patted her head. Don't cry anymore. Even if I have to turn Tan Not Cat upside down, I will find them for you. You've cried too much already. Lu Kui Fai, being held back by the maids behind, was furious. Then the maids came over. Your Majesty, we have searched as you instructed. We didn't find any suspicious people or animals. Hearing this, Ko Vai was surprised. How could it be that in such a short time, the drug residue in the flower bush, the man in black, and the dead tiger all disappeared? Lu Kui Fai was triumphant. Tonight, Your Majesty was quite forceful. She glared at the Empress. Without evidence, you dared to search recklessly. I wonder if the Emperor knows about this. Lu Kui Fai had earlier ordered, clean up this place. Also, quickly move them out through the secret passage. Lu Kui Fai logeto hosei. Ha ha. Luckily, I had people handle this matter cleanly. Ten Lu Kui Fai godat ko viso uditai li. As for you, third princess, didn't you want to find cats? I'll take you to search for them. Under the moonlight, everyone was still standing crowded. No Luong said, noble consort, doing that might hurt the third princess. Tomorrow, the third princess still has to meet the emperor. Hearing this, Lu Kui Fai became afraid, thinking of the emperor. Then she released Ko Vai's hand. It seems that for tonight's matter, tomorrow I will also have to find the emperor. To explain, suddenly, a sound from the bushes over there caught everyone's attention. Two tiger cubs emerged, chewing on a piece of cloth. Ko Vai was shocked, little yellow, little blue. She ran to pick up the two tigers. Where have you two been playing? I've been looking for so long. They were happy near Ko Vai, but fierce when they saw Lu Kui Fai's subordinates. Then one of them jumped down and went to the other side. Ko Vai was surprised. Little yellow, wait. The two tiger cubs went to the body of a man. Everyone followed them. Ko Vai was scared. How terrifying. There's a person dressed in black in this cave. Lu Kui Fai was shocked. How can this be? The Empress became furious. Lu Kui Fai, I can't believe you dared to hide another man in the palace. Lu Kui Fai immediately knelt down. It's a misunderstanding. Recently, I've been raising two divine beasts. I didn't expect that tonight two thieves would break into Tan Not Cat and take them away. This man in black is one of those thieves. The Empress questioned, you mean this one has an accomplice? Lu Kui Fai replied with a fierce expression, that's right. The third princess is the accomplice of that thief. These two divine beasts belong to me. But Ko Vai was playing happily with the two divine beasts. Little yellow, little blue, be good. Don't run around everywhere. Seeing this, everyone was stunned. The Empress and the maids laughed loudly. Lu Kui Fai, do you take me for a 3-year-old child? If you're going to make up an excuse, at least find a more believable one. Lu Kui Fai angrily protested. These two divine beasts are really raised by me. I'll prove it to you. Then she reached out her hand. Come here. I am your true master. But the two divine beasts bared their claws fiercely and charged at Lu Kui Fai. She screamed, ah, my hand. Lu Kui Fai was attacked and in pain. Ko Vai mocked, oh my noble consort, are you all right? My kittens are too playful. Don't take it to heart. Lu Kui Fai was furious. Stop pretending, Ko Vai. Then the beast chewed out the bag containing drug residue. Ko Vai wiped it with a cloth. What have these naughty ones been playing with? They're covered in mud, and there's a strange foul smell. The smell is just like the medicine I used to drink. Hearing this, the Empress and Lu Kui Fai were shocked. The Empress thought of the medicine bowl. This thing on the ground is exactly like the residue in the third princess's poison medicine bowl from that year. Then she ordered guards, escort Lu Kui Fai to the Ministry of Justice for interrogation. Now the evidence is clear. Let's see how you explain yourself now. Lu Kui Fai was taken away by soldiers but still protested, I've been wronged. I want to see the emperor. Then the empress said to the third princess, I will send someone to escort you back to Phuong Gikat first. Wait until tomorrow when I investigate clearly. I will come immediately to give Phuong Gikat an answer. Ko Vai hugged the two divine beasts and bowed. Then I'll trouble your majesty the empress. That night at Phuong Gikat, Gan Luong and Ko Vai were bathing the two tiger cubs. You've had a tough day today. You helped me find the tigers, and now you're helping me bathe them too. You've helped me with so many things. You can ask for any reward you want." Hearing this, Gan Luong stopped his hands. "Really? Anything at all?" Ko Vai patted her chest. "Of course. As long as it's something I can do, just say it." No, Luong questioned. "You can't go back on your word." Seeing this, Ko Vai held herself. Could it be Ko Vai thought of a movie she had seen in modern times where the main couple? The girl asked how he wanted her to repay him. The young man said of course with her body. Thinking that, Gu Wei was amused and said she wouldn't go back on her word. "Tell her quickly." Wu Liang leaned in close to her ear. "I want 2 tiger cubs." Seeing this scene would make even them embarrassed. After hearing this, Gu Wei forced a smile. She said, "So all this time it turns out you wanted to take you to the Imperial Library to read books. No other requests." Wu Liang was surprised. "If not, what did you think I would ask for?" Gu Wei waved off those intimate scenes, saying it was nothing. Then Wu Liang continued bathing the 2 tiger cubs. The Imperial Library contains tens of thousands of precious books. Ordinary people basically don't have the qualifications to enter unless guided by a member of the royal family. Then Gu Wei wiped the tiger while working and replied, "I know you're studious. With your heart set on studying, in a few days I'll take you there. That's fine." Wu Liang, the true bookworm, was overjoyed. "Thank you, princess. If we could go earlier, that would be much better." Gu Wei picked up the 2 tigers and left. All right, I know. Good night." The 2 tigers still turned back to play with him, but Wu Liang watched her leave intently and thought to himself, "I'm sorry. A few months ago, at the Zhu Ying Pavilion's secret intelligence agency in Zhuai Jin Pavilion, it was very crowded with people coming and going. Wu Liang met a man wearing a mask in a private room. He said to him, "I can help you investigate information about your birth parents, but first you must give me something to trade." Wu Liang asked, "What do you want?" Then he stroked his chin and said, "I heard that the 3rd Princess Gu Wei is the Emperor's most favored. Young, but already with a spirit that moves people's hearts. Bring her here. I want to adopt her as my little sister." Wu Liang immediately replied, "Not possible." He then became angry. "How dare you say not possible to me? Don't you want to know about your background anymore?" Wu Liang then provoked him. "I heard that the head of the secret intelligence agency appears to be upright and righteous, but behind the scenes, he traffics young girls. It seems it's not just a rumor." Hearing this, he became angry and used his martial arts on him. "You stinking brat, you dare insult me. Do you want to die?" But Wu Liang quickly grabbed his wrist tightly, then twisted it back. He shouted loudly, "It hurts. Let go quickly. If you don't like it, we can change to other conditions." Then Wu Liang let go and told him to speak. But there was already a red mark on his hand from being grabbed. He rubbed it while asking, "Then how about the map of Chengbuyi?" Hearing this, Wu Liang immediately spat something out. He quickly dodged. "This is the rule of the secret intelligence agency. Without something to trade, even if I die, I can't provide you with any information." Wu Liang asked, "Where is the map?" He lazily replied, "In the Imperial Library of the palace." Then Wu Liang agreed, all right. After that, he left. The man closed the door and then went to the window. He tied a letter to a bird's leg. "Masters, you predicted it perfectly." The 6 ministers took the bait. The next day, when the emperor heard about the poisoning, he dismissed court early and rushed to Cunning Palace. Consort Lu knelt down the emperor, empress, and 4 consorts were furious. "Consort Lu, our Vair is only a 3-year-old child. She has never offended you. Why did you try to poison her and take her life?" Consort Lu pleaded, "Your Majesty, don't just listen to their one-sided words. I am innocent. How could I poison the 3rd princess? Surely someone jealous is framing me." The emperor raged. "Last night, witnesses and evidence were all present. How dare you still deny it?" The empress turned to the emperor and said, "Your Majesty, Consort Lu was at the Ministry of Justice all night, but she still shows no remorse. Please quickly execute Consort Lu as a warning to others." Hearing this, Consort Lu was terrified. The 2 princesses sitting behind cried loudly, "Father, no, you can't kill our mother." The emperor then said, "After all, she is the mother of 2 princesses and 2 young princes. Doing that would be too cruel." Consort Ci spoke up, "Your Majesty, I know I'm useless, far inferior to a uniquely favored Consort Lu. But if you indulge and cover for her like this, have you thought about how Vair feels?" The emperor sighed ruefully. What could a 3.5-year-old child understand? I was still playing at 3. Then he panicked seeing Gu Vai's hurt expression and teary eyes. He quickly reassured, "Vair, trust your father. Father will definitely get justice for you. I certainly won't let you be wronged." Guvai pretended to be innocent, really, but I don't believe what's in her heart. The emperor then said, the emperor doesn't joke. Guvai looked at him with disgust. This father is such a good actor. Meanwhile, the emperor was thinking, Consort Lu's status is related to the northern border. For now, we can't lose this chess piece. The country and people are important. We can only let Vair suffer for now. After all, she's just a 3-year-old child. Later, we can give her some candy, and she'll quickly forget about this. I almost forgot your devilish words. I've seen through all your intentions. The emperor sighed and then picked up a golden statue. Consort Lu, you have truly disappointed me. You've done such a cruel thing. I don't want to see you anymore. As he spoke, the emperor glanced secretly at Guvai. Guvai thought, why are you looking at me? Continue speaking. Then the emperor pretended to cough. Guards, imprison Consort Lu in Qingyu Pavilion. Demote her to concubine Lu. Without my order, no one is allowed to visit her. Then the soldiers arrested Consort Lu. Yes, Consort Lu struggled. I don't want to. Let me go. The two princesses panicked and ran after their mother. She gritted her teeth. Guvai, it's all because of you that my mother lost favor. Just you wait. I'll definitely not spare you and your mother. The emperor smiled. Are you satisfied now, Vair? The 4 consorts were still upset. The crime Consort Lu committed deserves death. For the safety of your daughter, you can't let her off so easily, your majesty. Just as the emperor was about to speak, Guvai interrupted. Father's punishment is very good. Vair is very satisfied. Thank you, father, for doing justice for me. Hearing Guvai say this, the emperor was pleased. He thought, as expected of my daughter, she understands and knows her limits at crucial moments. This time I did indeed show leniency. I can't help but let those two suffer a bit. It's fine. I just need to compensate them more later. The emperor then went to hold Consort Ci's hand. Ci Zhaoyu, if I remember correctly, next month is your birthday. Whatever you want, just say it. I'll fulfill all your wishes. Consort Ci was surprised and looked at Guvai. The little girl winked at her. Mother, go for it. Seize this opportunity. Then she clasped her hands and thanked the emperor. As long as it's your majesty's arrangement, I'll be happy with anything. Hearing this, the emperor smiled. Ci Zhaoyu has always been gentle. She's the one I love the most. Guvai thought, mother was just promoted not long ago. We can't let her go against this man's wishes now. Wait until that old man can't even walk anymore. I'll take revenge for mother then. Guvai imagined herself cutting off the emperor's oxygen when he's lying on his sickbed. The emperor, thinking of the grand fireworks lighting up the sky outside, gave an order. Pass down the decree. We shall organize the biggest and most magnificent fireworks feast at Chengbai for Ci Zhaoyu. The eunuch received the order. Yes, your majesty. Hearing this, the empress was shocked and pondered. What? Chengbai? That's a place even the royal relatives can't enter at will. Guvai pulled Yin Liang's sleeve and asked, where's Chengbai? Is there anything special about it? It's the first time I've heard of it. Seeing the two of them talking, the crown prince sitting next to them was surprised. Little sister Vi, since when did you become so close to the Lu family? When did this happen? As he was pondering, suddenly a voice called out, startling the crown prince. What are you doing, brother? The second prince, Gu Shan, approached. The crown prince, flustered, replied, nothing. Seeing the rolled-up paper with a ribbon on his hand, Gu Shan surprisingly questioned the crown prince. I've been in seclusion studying for half a month and haven't seen you. Every time you see me, you always bring a congratulatory gift. It seems this time is a painting. I wonder which famous artist's work it is. Although the ribbon is tied a bit poorly, if it's brother's sincere intention, I'll gladly accept it. So, just as Gu Shun was about to reach for it, the crown prince grabbed his wrist to stop him. Wait, this isn't for you. Hearing this, Gu Shun was upset. What? If not for me, then who else could it be for? The crown prince held Gu Shun's hand tightly. I can give you anything you want, but just not this one. Ko then questioned, if I say I like this, will you give it to me? On the other side, a certain emperor didn't notice the movement of the two people. The crown prince quickly withdrew the scroll. Be good, I'll give you one in a few days then. He even wiped it like a treasure. Ko then angrily wondered why it had become like this. He had only ever cared about himself before. Then the emperor took Tu Chu Vin's hand and ordered, that's enough for today. Concubines with no business may return to their palaces. The empress and everyone bowed. Yes, Kovai excitedly called, "No, Luong, let's go. We don't need to return to the palace. Let's go to the library instead." Suddenly, the crown prince ran over Kovai's little sister. Kovai was surprised. "Crown prince brother, what's wrong?" Then the crown prince handed that scroll to her. "I'm giving this to you. Remember to open it when you get back, okay?" No Luong, standing beside, was extremely interested in this item. Kovai happily replied, "Thank you, crown prince brother." Ko then, hiding behind a wall, was displeased. "I thought it was someone else. It's just a little girl, nothing special at all." Kovai over there suddenly sneezed. The crown prince patted her head. "The weather's been cold lately. Vi, little sister, don't catch a cold, okay?" No Luong, standing behind, took off his outer robe and put it on her. "Third princess, it's cold in the room. We shouldn't stay long, let's go." Kovai looked up at him and replied, "I'm okay." Then the two of them ran off. Kovai still turned back to wave goodbye. "Goodbye, crown prince brother." The crown prince hadn't had time to react. Outside, it was a beautiful sunny day. Kovai and No Luong walked to the library. The two guards at the gate bowed. "Long live the third princess." Ko then, following behind the two of them. The guards were about to bow again, but Ko then signaled them to be quiet and maintain order in the library. Kovai sat reading at the table. She had fallen asleep and yawned widely. "Today before dawn, I was dragged to Kan Nin Palace. I'm so sleepy." Seeing No Luong still fumbling around searching, "No Luong brother, you've been looking for so long and still haven't found the book you want to read. Tell me the name of the book. I'll help you find it." Hearing this, No Luong stopped. "No need. There are no books I want to read on the first floor. If the third princess is sleepy, you can take a nap. I'll go up to the second floor to look." Then Kovai sprawled out on the table. "All right, but you have to be quick." Kovai fell into sleep. No Luong came close, draped his robe over her, then went upstairs. As soon as he stepped up, he heard a sound. No Luong looked around. He saw a vase placed there. That's not right. There wasn't a wooden box on the first floor. He approached and pulled the vase out. Underneath was a piece of paper, a map of Tanbata. Found it. No Luong picked it up. Suddenly, at that moment, there was a loud scream. Oh no. It was the third princess. While Kovai was resting her head lazily on the table, a black spider appeared, startling her. Kovai screamed in fear. The second prince hid behind a bookshelf. Seeing this scene, he smirked with pleasure, thinking HMPF. Catching just one spider, and she's already scared. Truly a useless coward. Suddenly, Kovai cried out, making him glance over again. In fact, she was not only not afraid, but was poking and playing with the spider. Kovai laughed happily with delight. "This is the first time I've seen such a cute and charming spider." The second prince was bewildered. How could this be? She's not afraid of spiders. Seemingly hearing some sound, Kovai turned her face and shouted loudly. "What's that sound?" Taking this chance, the spider escaped. The second prince was startled. He quickly ran away before her question, "Who's there?" Kovai angrily chased after him. "Stop. Don't run." Suddenly she slipped. Her whole body tilted and slammed hard into the bookshelf. Ouch. Kovai fell and rolled on the ground. At this moment, Gan Luong came down the stairs. Seeing Kovai had fallen, he worriedly called out, "Third princess." Kovai trembled and cried, "Boo-hoo." She painfully exclaimed, "Boo-hoo, my butt hurts so much." Gan Luong's eyes widened when he saw the bookshelf swaying, about to fall. He quickly ran towards her third princess, Danger. He rushed in and embraced her whole body. Kovai blushed, thinking he's being proactive again. Her eyes widened even more when she saw several books falling from the shelf. Rustle, rustle the blue books, and the bookshelf fell down on the two of them just as the crown prince appeared. He raised his voice, "What's the commotion inside? Quickly go in and see what happened." The second prince pretended to follow behind. "Big brother, what happened? Wait for me. I'm coming too." When the door was opened, the crown prince's face was very surprised. He worriedly shouted, "Viad, little sister." He quickly ran towards the two of them. "Viad, little sister." Kovai and Gan Luong glanced up. She replied, "Crown prince brother." Gan Luong said, "Softly, your highness, crown prince." The crown prince asked bewilderedly, "Ahem. Why is it so messy here?" The second prince added, "Guards, quickly clean up the library." The soldiers behind quickly obeyed yes. It seemed the second prince had devised another scheme. His face looked very serious. While Gan Luong was gently helping Kovai stand up, he mumbled, "Such a masterpiece surely wasn't caused by you, little sister, was it?" He smirked and added, "Every book in the library was collected from all over the country based on Father Emperor's preferences. If Father Emperor finds out these books were damaged by someone else, Before he could finish his sentence, Luke Gan Luong quickly interjected. He took all the blame on himself, making Ko Vi surprised it must have been me carelessly bumping into the bookshelf, causing the third princess to be frightened. I beg the two your highnesses for forgiveness, Ko Vi cried out. No, I saw a thief in the library. Wanting to catch him, the crown prince gently took hold of her tiny hands. He comforted her, saying the damaged book could be replaced and the thief would be pursued by the guards. He looked at her tenderly and added, next time, remember to be more careful about your safety. The crown prince couldn't stop worrying. He looked left and right, examining to see if Gu Wei was injured. Does it hurt? Did you hit anything? If it hurts, don't hold back. Brother will call the best royal physician to examine you. Gu Wei gently patted his head and smiled. She replied, Crown Prince brother, don't worry. Weier doesn't hurt at all, except for my poor bottom that got bumped when I fell. Seeing the two siblings being affectionate, the second prince felt uncomfortable and thought, let go. Release your filthy claws. Don't take my big brother. Gu Wei looked up at Lu Gong Liang. She said gently, but Lu Gong Liang got hurt protecting me. I want to take him back to rest first. Is that okay? The crown prince sighed in relief. All right, brother will handle the aftermath and the thief here for you. Gu Wei happily hugged him. Thank you, crown prince brother. At this moment, a guard standing above shouted, Your Highness the Crown Prince, please come and see quickly. The wooden box on the second floor has been touched by someone. The Crown Prince's face became serious. Hearing this, the second prince thought there were only 3 people in the library at that time. I never went up to the second floor. He glanced and thought further. Could it be when Gu Wei and Lu Gong Liang were happily leaving? The second prince quickly stretched out his arms to block the two of them. Wait, he shouted, you can't leave without being searched. Gu Wei frowned and replied forcefully, you suspect us. The second prince crossed his arms, looking displeased. Thieves are hard to guard against. Just a body search, and you can clear yourselves of suspicion. Gu Wei frowned at him. Seeing this, the second prince angrily shouted, What are you looking at? She said, The more I look, the more I feel you're about 70–80% similar to the thief's build from earlier in the library. The second prince jumped up. Don't talk nonsense. The crown prince glanced at him, making him fearful. The second prince shouted to explain, She's only 3 years old. What does she understand? Big brother, don't believe her. The crown prince smiled and replied, Since we're doing a full body search anyway, let's search. You as well. Hearing his beloved brother say this, the second prince was stunned. Gu Wei playfully teased him, making him even angrier. Nah. After the guards searched Lu Gong Liang, he bowed and reported, Your Highness, we didn't find anything suspicious. The second prince was bewildered. How is that possible? The crown prince said sternly, Bring the wooden box down for me to see. The guard obeyed. Yes, sir. He quickly brought the wooden box to the crown prince. Inside was a piece of paper. The guard said, This belongs to Cheng Bu Yi. The second prince shouted. The thief must have touched the item, but was too cowardly to take it. Lu Gong Liang frowned. He recalled what happened earlier. When he was examining the piece of paper in the box, he heard Gu Wei's voice. Lu Gong Liang quickly put the paper back in its place. His fingerprints might have been left on it. Gu Wei whispered. It could also be that when the thief was interrupted by something important, they didn't have time to take it. They haven't left the scene yet. Lu Gong Liang pretended to have a headache. Seeing this, Gu Wei worriedly asked, What's wrong? She fearfully thought, Oh no, could it be a concussion from being hit? He rubbed his forehead and replied, I'm a bit dizzy. Gu Wei quickly put on a pitiful act and begged her brother, Crown Prince brother, please, we've already been searched. Can we leave here first? The Crown Prince had to nod, all right. The two hurriedly held hands and left. At that moment, the scroll in Gu Wei's sleeve fell out. The Crown Prince felt a bit sad. Leaving in such a hurry, and yet you're worried about an outsider. The second prince happily spread his arms and suggested, Big brother, don't be sad. You still have me. The Crown Prince didn't bother to hug him. He coldly walked away. Let's go. At this moment, a guard handed the second prince a scroll. This is what I picked up from the ground, Your Highness. The second prince looked at the scroll and ordered, Let me see it. He quickly unrolled the scroll. It turned out to be a beautiful painting. The second prince was stunned. This is the Cold Plum Blossom painting by the greatest painter in the world, Tang Shi, given to my big brother. I've been begging him for 3 years, and he still wouldn't give it to me. Yet that little brat has trampled on it. He gritted his teeth in extreme anger. Seeing the second prince leaving in a fury, the guard asked in confusion, Your Highness, where are you going? He frowned and replied, To settle a score. Meanwhile, In Lu Gongliang's room, Gu Wei was sitting beside him, examining his condition. She gently touched his forehead. Gu Wei shyly thought, this small face is not only handsome, but also feels really nice. Lu Gongliang blushed and pretended to cough. Third princess, how much longer do you want to examine? Gu Wei was startled and backed away. She panicked and replied, your head is fine. A night's rest should be enough. She quickly handed him some beneficial medicines. These are all specially formulated medicines. Remember to apply them on time in the morning, afternoon, and evening. Lu Gongliang smiled and replied, I know. Suddenly, the second prince burst through the door, ruining the romantic atmosphere. Seeing the two of them, he angrily shouted, you little brat, come here right now. Gu Wei worriedly asked, second brother, why are you here? How did my painting end up with you? He showed the painting and frowned, saying, stop pretending. It's clear you don't like this painting, so you deliberately threw it away. Gu Wei strongly denied, I didn't. The second prince continued to shout, do you know this is the only painting that big brother's Master Tang she gave him before he disappeared? He slammed his hand on the painting. Such an important thing destroyed by you. How heartbroken he will be. He quickly left, saying, don't call me second brother anymore. You troublemaking little sister. Gu Wei was stunned. She kept staring at the second prince's back as he left. Gu Wei silently looked at the painting. Her face showed a hint of contemplation. She spoke, causing Lu Yanliang to fall into silence. It's all my fault for not protecting it at night. The boss crossed his arms and asked loudly, where's what I want? Lu Yanliang quietly replied, I couldn't get it. He picked up a brush and ink, then continued. But I remember the entire map, he said loudly. I can draw it for you now. Lu Yanliang quickly drew a magnificent painting. The boss took the painting, saying, I'll trust you for now. Lu Yanliang frowned and said, my real identity. The princess smirked and replied, don't rush. I'll tell you. The boss spoke up. The boss spoke. I'm afraid your parents in the afterlife would never have imagined you'd become a guard for their enemy. Lu Yanliang frowned and asked, what do you mean? The boss said softly, you've been at Ningguo Fu for so many years. Haven't you ever heard about General Lu and the Northern Rome Princess? Lu Yanliang shook his head. I was raised by old General Tuesday. I've never heard anyone mention General Lu. And I don't know anything about a Northern Rome princess. The boss said, General Lu guarded the Great Qing border for 5 years. During that time, he once rescued a pitiful girl in trouble. Later, they fell in love and got married. They had a child, a happy family. General Lu had outstanding military achievements. His reputation was legendary. The Great Qing Emperor had long been wary of him. He wanted to weaken his military power, but couldn't find an opportunity, until he secretly investigated and discovered that girl's identity as in Northern Rome. He used that as an excuse. Finally, on charges of colluding with and betraying the country, he executed the entire Lu family. The strange thing is, among the hundreds of people in the Lu household, they never found the bodies of that Northern Rome woman and child. And 2 years after the Lu family's extermination, General Tu, General Lu's former close friend, adopted a son from among the common people. The boss smirked. If I were you, I wouldn't give up, and I'd be determined to avenge my father. Lu Yanliang didn't believe him. He frowned and replied, these are all one-sided words from you. The boss quickly took out a set of clothes. Then he handed them to him and said, these are the clothes your mother wore when she died. He added, causing him to be somewhat dazed. You can take them and ask in Guigong if he recognizes them or not. Currently, the Great Qing Emperor greatly favors the third princess. He frowned and added, you just need to kill that 3-year-old child. Then you can let the dog emperor taste the feeling of losing his dearest one. A few days later, everyone hurriedly arrived at Bat the City in the horse-drawn carriage. Kovai excitedly named her 2 pets, Milk Candy and Cheese. She said with wide eyes, I had to put in so much effort to persuade father to allow me to bring you 2 out of the palace. Outside, you 2 must be well-behaved and obedient, okay? Luke Mon Luong felt a bit sad looking at Kovai. His face was somewhat solemn. No matter what, I can't bring myself to harm a child who can't even tie up a chicken. Seeing Luke Mon Luong a bit sad, Kovai curiously asked, were you talking just now? You spoke so softly, I couldn't hear clearly. He evaded no. He playfully teased the third princess. Are you getting motion sickness and hallucinating? Cool, vi stubbornly replied, impossible. Before leaving the palace, father specially gave me a pill to prevent motion sickness. She frowned, thinking, The voice just now seemed to come from there. She glanced over. Could it be his inner voice? Kovai leaned towards him to listen more closely. At this time, the horse had reached near the city gate. Suddenly, its legs lost balance. A few gunshots fired nearby startled it, making it run faster. Lukman Luong quickly embraced Kovai. Be careful, Kovai. Her cheeks turned red when she heard Lukman Luong's heart beating strongly. Besides the heartbeat, she couldn't hear anything else. The guards saw the carriage approaching. They pointed their guns and ordered it to stop. Except for the citizens in the city, no one was allowed to enter Bat City without permission. Lukman Luong raised his hand wearing the ring. He spoke loudly. Do you recognize this? It's the white jade imperial seal. The guard was surprised and replied, Bat City has an honored guest. Quickly open the gate. The gate slowly opened. Kovai asked confusedly, why are there guns here? The guards shouted to each other. Lukman Luong looked at her and said, you recognize this. Kovai recalled that previously the emperor had shown her that gun. Father once showed me his precious gun. He said it's exclusively for the imperial family. Hearing this, Lukman Luong frowned. Kovai bit her lip, startling him. Why suddenly are you looking at me like I'm your enemy? Lukman Luong turned his face away. Sorry, I lost my composure for a moment. Kovai smiled and patted his shoulder. It's okay. I don't hold grudges against children. At this time, the imperial palace was very lively. The carriage had entered inside. Kovai leaned against the window and sighed. I don't know when I can quickly repair the Han my painting that Crown Prince brother gave me. Suddenly, a white-haired young man passed by. Kovai was a bit surprised. She glanced at him. This person is... The carriage slowly continued on the long road. Seeing Kovai acting a bit strange, Lukman Luong stared at her. He curiously asked her what was wrong. Kovai awkwardly replied that it was nothing. Just seeing so much delicious food outside made her a bit excited. A moment later, the two had stopped at an inn. The innkeeper named Alin was as happy as if it were harvest time. She said that Bat City had always cut off contact with outsiders. It was rare to have distinguished guests visiting today. She cheerfully added, I've already emptied out the best rooms. Please come in. The emperor curiously asked, Are you the city lord of Batta? Alin bowed slightly and replied softly, Your Majesty, you misunderstand. I am Alin, the innkeeper here. The city lord has business outside the city. I'm just temporarily helping her handle various affairs in the city. Kovai pulled Lukman Luong's hand and said softly, This Batta city lord is so mysterious. Even my father doesn't know what she looks like. Lukman Luong said, It's rumored that the Batta city lord always covers her face with a veil. No one has ever seen her true appearance. Hearing him say that, Kovai imagined a city lord with a very beautiful face. Wow, she exclaimed excitedly. It must be because she's too beautiful, afraid of enchanting people, so she covers her face like that. Alin looked up at Kovai. In her mind, she thought of the image of a girl. These eyes, why do they look so similar? Kovai read her thoughts. She thought to herself, what's similar to whom? What is this innkeeper thinking about? Suddenly, at this moment, her mother coughed repeatedly. Kovai worriedly asked Mother what's wrong. Alin was a bit startled when she saw the jade pendant under Kovai's skirt. Her mother gently held her daughter's hand. Everyone, don't worry. I'm Fine. The emperor whispered, You must be tired from the journey. Drinking hot water here can help relax your body. It will reduce the pain. I'll take you there now. Kovai felt uncomfortable when she sensed the unfavorable thoughts about her mother. She relies on her daughter to be favored by the emperor, such a fake appearance. With Tu Chiu Veen's attitude, I'd better ignore it. If only I could have a daughter like that, it would be great. 3 times in a row. Is Tu Chiu Veen playing some new game? So boring. It's not like organizing a birthday party for me. Why call me over here? With so many of us appearing together like this, I wonder if we'll get any more likes. Kovai, feeling uncomfortable, covered her ears. Why can I hear the inner voices of so many people at once like this? Could it be that my mind-reading ability has become stronger? A moment later, everyone started choosing rooms. Alin ordered the maids, take the distinguished guests to the rooms upstairs. As Alin was glancing at the girls going upstairs, Kovai asked her, Sister Alin, which room will I sleep in? She smiled and replied, Princess, don't rush. I want to ask, where did you get that jade pendant you're wearing? Kovai's face looked a bit confused. She quickly pulled the jade pendant out of her pocket. Holding it in her hand, she said, Oh, you mean this? My grandmother left it to me. Seeing the beautiful jade pendant appear, Alin was astonished. This jade pendant is the city lord's token. Could you really be the city lord's granddaughter? Kovai was surprised. My grandmother is the Batta city lord. Alin hugged her tightly and said softly, Years ago, natural disasters were constant. Everywhere you went, there were displaced people. If the city lord hadn't opened the gates and taken in homeless people like us, we would have died long ago. Alin recalled the image of Ko Vai's grandmother. She always wore a veil covering her face. She stood at the city gate and shouted, "From today on, you no longer need to wander. Bata City is now your home." The displaced people were so happy they cried. They cheered joyfully, "Thank you, City Lord. Thank you, City Lord. Thank you, City Lord." Ko Vai asked curiously, "So where is my grandmother now?" Alin replied sadly, "I don't know. More than 10 years ago, the city lord said she needed to go to back and hung for something. She hasn't returned since." Ko Vai frowned, thinking her grandmother hid her identity as city lord from everyone. Perhaps she had something difficult to say. Moreover, after entering Bata City, her mind-reading ability suddenly became stronger. It might be related to her grandmother. Alin excitedly suggested, "The city lord is missing. If you're her granddaughter, logically, you should inherit the position of city lord." Ko Vai sternly reminded her, "No, grandmother hid her identity. She must have had her reasons. We must keep her identity as city lord a secret." Alin smiled and replied, "All right, I'll listen to you, little city lord." Ko Vai frowned, gesturing to call her princess. Alin quickly covered her mouth. "Yes, little princess." Ko Vai asked, "Where did the city lord stay? Can you take me to her place?" She thought to herself, "Maybe I can find some clues related to grandmother." A moment later, Alin led Ko Vai upstairs. She looked at her and said, "In the past, the city lord stayed in the top room of this inn. I'll take you there." Standing in front of the door, Alin said softly, "Princess, if you need anything in this room, just let me know." Ko Vai politely replied, "All right." As soon as Alin left, Ko Vai quickly opened the door gently. Her face showed a bit of surprise. Seeing that the room looked unremarkable, she said, "It looks just like the other rooms. Nothing special at all." Ko Vai tried knocking on the floor. Then she leaned down to examine it closely. She kept searching back and forth. She thought there must be some secret room. Seeming to spot something, she exclaimed softly, A book lying next to the beloved cabinet. Ko Vai quickly picked it up. She was happily delighted. Mind-reading technique handbook. She sat down thoughtfully to study it in the notebook. Just focus your mind and listen carefully. We will be able to use the mind technique. The notebook also had additional illustrations. The stronger the ability, the more inner voices you can hear. Each time you use it, it will consume a certain amount of mental strength. If mental energy is excessively consumed, there will be insufficient physical strength. Coma and even reduced lifespan may occur. The mind-reading technique is divided into 3 levels. The first level can see through people's inner thoughts. The more unstable a person's mind, the easier it is to see through. Simple thoughts. Tomorrow I have to fake being sick to skip school. People with stable and calm minds are very difficult to see through. Ko Vai immediately thought of No Luong. The book also wrote about level 2, which can predict dangers in the surrounding environment. Just close your eyes. Use your consciousness to observe the environment. Ko Vai excitedly cheered. This danger prediction function is good. I'll try it first. Ko Vai quickly focused her mind. Her mind extended to other people around. At the farthest distance, she could only sense movements inside the inn. She couldn't sense anything outside at all. It seems she can only sense the surrounding area within about 800 meters. At this moment, her mind gradually shifted to her room. Ko Vai was a bit surprised. Isn't this the room where the Crown Prince is staying? Oh no, could it be that the Crown Prince is in danger? She quickly opened the door. Then she ran to where the Crown Prince was. On the way, Ko Vai accidentally bumped into the second prince. Her head swelled up with a big bump. Ko Vai softly called out, "Second brother." The second prince frowned. "Hey kid, I've been looking for you everywhere. You've come to find me yourself." He held out his hand and ordered, "I found a painting restorer. Give me big brother's painting so I can have it restored." Ko Vai hesitantly replied, "Wait a moment, I have something important to do now." Suddenly, at this moment, the white-haired guy carrying a box walked past the two of them. He was walking in a hurry. Seeming to realize something, Ko Vai shouted, "Wait." The white-haired guy pretended to be deaf and didn't even turn his face once. Ko Vai tried to remind the second prince, "Brother, quickly move aside. There's no time left." He still stubbornly refused to listen to her. "If you don't give me the painting, don't even think about going anywhere." Ko Vai didn't care anymore. She quickly headbutted him, causing him pain. Ignoring the second prince holding his stomach in pain, Ko Vai quickly chased after the white-haired guy. She said, "Sorry, second brother. It's an emergency. I'll make it up to you later." The second prince gritted his teeth in anger. This little girl. You're in trouble. 5 seconds later, the second prince had grabbed Kovai. He raised his voice. You thought your short legs could outrun me. Kovai struggled uncomfortably. Let me go. Let go. The crown prince is in danger. The second prince was confused. Big brother is in danger. You're not lying to me, are you? Kovai quickly jumped down. She frowned, looking extremely annoyed. Why would I lie to you? Think about it. Father has booked this entire inn, so how could there be other guests? He must have sneaked in here. Moreover, the direction he was heading is exactly where the crown prince is staying. There must be something wrong. Didn't you see he was carrying a strange box? What if there are secret weapons hidden inside the box? Hearing this, the second prince immediately imagined the scary guy, and his face turned pale with fear. He quickly grabbed Kovai's hand and pulled her along. The second prince ran for his life, while Kovai's face was full of frustration. Hang on, big brother. I'm coming to save you. Kovai felt like she couldn't bear to live anymore. A moment later, they arrived at the crown prince's place. They hurriedly opened the door and called out Big Brother. Kovai and the second prince entered the room. She kept calling Crown Prince brother, but there was no response. Seeing a maid lying sprawled on the floor, Kovai was shocked and said, "Oh no, something has happened. We're too late." The second prince was a bit worried. Big brother is not here. Let's check the backyard together. At this moment, the crown prince was peacefully bathing in the lake. While he was relaxing himself after a tiring day, he slightly opened his eyes and suddenly saw someone. His face showed a bit of surprise. Opposite him, the white-haired guy appeared holding a sharp knife. The white-haired guy pointed the sharp knife towards the crown prince. He was stunned and called out, "Master." The knife quickly flew towards him. Blood stains appeared on the handsome face of the crown prince. The white-haired guy quickly approached. He gently took the knife and killed the snake from earlier. He smiled and said, "You need to be more careful when bathing in hot springs. There are often wild snakes near hot springs." The crown prince exclaimed joyfully, "Master, you're back." At this moment, the second prince and Kovai appeared. The second prince threatened, "Don't touch the crown prince." Kovai shouted. The crown prince saw the two of them appear at the same time. The crown prince, embarrassed, used his hands to cover his body. "Why are you all here? Quickly get out." The second prince had approached the white-haired guy. As he turned his head slightly, the second prince rushed in and pushed him to the ground. The second prince ordered Kovai, "Quick, take Big Brother and run. Don't worry about me. Just go." Kovai worriedly asked, "Crown Prince brother, are you hurt?" She added sadly, "It's all my fault for being late." The crown prince sighed. "You've all misunderstood. It was Master who saved me." Kovai and the second prince were stunned and exclaimed, "Master." A moment later, the two realized the person who arrived was the prince's master. Duan-Ki, the two were soaked, trying to rescue the prince. They bowed and spoke softly. "Sorry, Crown Prince," they said loudly. "Look at yourself. All day you just bring your sister to cause trouble." The second prince replied sadly, "How could I? Clearly it was my sister who led me." The master smiled and told the prince not to blame them. They're still young. The crown prince felt a bit embarrassed. Young, so they need to be taught. The second prince glanced at Kovai, slightly annoyed. "It's all because of that little radish that I got scolded by Big Brother." Kovai sighed in relief. Luckily, that snake was destroyed. The danger to Prince Brother has also been eliminated. She felt itchy in her nose and said to the master, "Sir, you smell so good. There's a fragrance around you." Perhaps afraid of being harassed, he immediately tightened his clothes. Kovai awkwardly waved her hands. I didn't mean it like that." The crown prince and second prince covered their faces, not knowing what else to say. A moment later, they all sat gathered around the dining table. Green drinks were placed on the table. The crown prince curiously said, "I've been looking for you for a long time, but had no news." The master gently replied, speaking at length. He softly recounted the whole story. "Perhaps that year when entering the palace, I accidentally offended someone. Then I was poisoned with a strange toxin by someone that gradually made me lose my senses. Starting with hearing, then taste and smell. Vision finally turned me into a useless person. To save my life, I had to leave the palace." The crown prince worriedly said, "But master, haven't you regained your hearing now?" He quickly pointed to his cheek, then smiled kindly and replied, "No, I can only read people's lip language." The second prince exclaimed in surprise, "No wonder. Back then when Radish called from behind, you didn't react at all." The crown prince became a bit angry. He slammed his hand on the table, then frowned at Duan-Ki and said, "It's hateful. Master, you've always been kind and never associated with anyone. Who could be so cruel as to do this to you? I must find them and avenge you." Duan Qi softened his eyes and said, "Let it go. I've long since stopped caring about revenge. This might be my fate." He gently took out a wooden box. "I came this time for a different purpose. He smiled and added, "Borrow some silver for medical treatment. It's not for free. These are my old paintings that can be used as collateral for you." Among the old paintings in the box, Duan Qi added, "They're not worth even 2 coins anymore." The crown prince asked sadly, "Master, where are you unwell? Let me call the best royal physician to examine you." Duan Qi shook his head slightly. "It's useless. This poison has no antidote. I can only take medicine to reduce the toxicity for life and the cost of the herbs." The crown prince's face became serious. He must have remembered the past. Back then, the emperor chose the master to help him. He said, "I see this painter has rich experience. Can he be your master?" The crown prince loudly refused. "I don't need you to point and choose Duan Qi. I chose him myself." Back to the present, the crown prince took out a gold bar from his pocket. "One day as a teacher, a lifetime as a teacher." He handed it to Duan Qi. "As long as master stays by my side, I guarantee that for the rest of your life, you won't have to worry about food and clothing." Duan Qi bowed and accepted the gold bar. He replied, "The crown prince's kindness is more than enough for me." He pretended to cry and added, "In the past, the emperor didn't like me teaching painting to the crown prince. If the emperor knows that now I can't paint but still stay by the crown prince's side, what if he gets angry? As long as the crown prince can live well, it doesn't matter what happens to the master." As soon as he finished speaking, he searched in his pocket. Then he placed a bag on the table. "It's getting late. I still need to buy medicine at the pharmacy. I'll go first." Seeing the master leaving, the crown prince quickly called out to him, "Ko Vai," and the second prince's eyes welled up with tears. "Poor master. But this scent feels both familiar and strange." Suddenly, the second prince saw the bag on the table that Duan Qi had left behind. Out of curiosity, he opened it. "Isn't this the peach blossom cake that Big Brother likes to eat the most?" The mischievous second prince brought the cake to his mouth. "Let me try it for Big Brother to see how it tastes." Suddenly, the second prince's face darkened. The cake fell and shattered on the floor. Ko Vai's face was full of surprise. She shouted, "Second brother, what's wrong with you?" The second prince was in too much pain to answer. Ko Vai kept calling second brother. His whole body was shaking uncomfortably. Out of worry, the crown prince hurried to find the royal physician. "I'll go call the royal physician to come and save him." The second prince couldn't bear it anymore. He collapsed to the ground. Ko Vai's face was filled with fear. "There's no time." She hurriedly ran out the door. She saw a young man holding a jug of water. Ko Vai quickly took it for emergency use. "Let me borrow this for a moment." Then she gave the second prince water to drink. After drinking, he immediately vomited out the poisoned cake. Ko Vai gently wiped his mouth. She called his name, making him slowly open his eyes. "Second brother." Ko Vai kept calling incessantly, "Second brother, second brother." The second prince slowly sat up. He pretended to be uncomfortable and said, "Stop shouting. If I'm not dead yet, your noise will kill me." Seeing her brother was all right, Ko Vai joyfully threw herself into his arms. "You're awake, that's good." The second prince asked in surprise, "How did you know I'm allergic to this fruit?" Ko Vai smiled and replied, "I once heard the palace maids and eunuchs around you mention it once. I remembered it well." The second prince's cheeks turned red. There was a bit of happiness in his heart. "My big brother and mother also often can't remember." He gently sniffed on Gu Wei's shoulder. The faint milk scent around her made him feel a bit comfortable. Why does this little girl have a milk scent? Smelling it feels very reassuring. Suddenly he pushed her away, making Gu Wei bewildered. He gently pinched her cheek, making Gu Wei angry. "You smell bad. Stay away from me." Gu Wei frowned and said, "No, I just saved you. Can you be a little nicer to me?" Outwardly, he seemed displeased, but inside, the second prince felt extremely delighted. "Why didn't I notice before that this girl's face is so fair and smooth? It feels so soft. I'll pinch a bit more, considering she saved my life. In the future, I'll bully her a few times less." Suddenly, Gu Wei fainted from exhaustion. She let out a soft ah. The second prince panicked and said, "Radish sister, what's wrong?" "I didn't pinch that hard, don't blame me." Gu Wei gently replied, "It's nothing. I'm just a bit tired today. I'll go back to my room and rest for a while. It'll be fine." She lightly touched her forehead. Probably the level 2 mind-reading skill had consumed too much energy. Her physical strength couldn't handle it. The second prince worriedly offered, "I'll take you back." Gu Wei stood up slowly shook her head and replied, "No, you stay here and wait for Crown Prince Brother. You want to call the Imperial Doctor. If he comes back and doesn't see us, he'll be very worried." The second prince reluctantly agreed and watched her leave. Gu Wei walked silently along the long path. Feeling sleepy, she kept rubbing her eyes, feeling so sleepy. At this moment, the image of Lu Yunliang appeared in her mind. If only Lu Yunliang could carry her back to sleep, that would be great. Suddenly, Gu Wei stopped in her tracks. She saw a figure behind her. Gu Wei happily turned around. "Lu Yunliang, you're here." But her face showed a hint of surprise. A strange hand pushed her into the cold water. As Gu Wei was drowning, she heard a voice calling, "Vayat, Vayat." She felt a hand gently touch her shoulder. "Wake up, Vaya." The voice was getting closer. "Wake up." Gu Wei slowly opened her eyes. Beside her appeared a woman. Gu Wei said sadly, "It looks like I still couldn't escape the fate of drowning to death." The woman said gently, "Don't worry. With me here, you probably won't die." Seeing the woman's kind face, Gu Wei asked in confusion, "That's right, I haven't asked who you are." She widened her eyes and added, "You mean you're the grandmother who saved the displaced people of Chengbuyi and accomplished everything?" The woman replied shyly, "Ah, those are just empty titles." Gu Wei's face was full of assessment. She says they're just empty titles, but she's clearly very happy about it. Suddenly, the woman remembered something important. She looked at Gu Wei and said, "Now is not the time for idle chat. It wasn't easy for me to contact you this way. We only have 2 minutes to talk. Now the person talking to you through the jade bracelet is just an illusion of me." To put it briefly, her words left Ko Vi stunned. What you need to do now is stop the mad emperor of Bak and Hung and his son from destroying Dai Thin. Ko Vi asked in bewilderment, "Wait, I'm a bit confused. Who is this mad emperor of Bak you're talking about? Who is his son?" She pondered and replied, "The mad emperor of Bak and Hung's real name is Lang Trida. He also has a hidden identity as Duong Qi, a painter. His son was given to Kwok Song to raise 10 years ago. His name is something I forgot." Ko Vi was so dumbfounded that a melon could have fallen on her head. She asked again to be sure, "Grandmother, are you sure you're not mistaken about something? How can Duong Qi possibly be an emperor? How can these two be father and son? You need evidence when you say such things." She replied sternly, "You don't believe me." She raised her index finger and suggested to Ko Vi like this, "You can take off the pants of that gone-something guy, and look, there's a red birthmark on his buttocks." Ko Vi's face showed contempt. "Did you see it with your own eyes?" She panicked and replied, "Ah, well, I didn't. I'm a decent person after all." She quickly grabbed Ko Vi's hand. "You must be more careful with him." Lang tried to even to his own younger sister. At that critical moment, the signal was cut off. Ko Vi anxiously called out, "Grandmother." Her grandmother's image faded away. Ko Vi opened her eyes, now floating on the water's surface. A panicked shout made the second prince turn around. "Someone help!" The third princess has fallen into the water again. Seeing Ko Vi flailing in the water, the second prince quickly dove in. He jumped into the water to rescue the radish girl. He tried to hold his breath and then grabbed Ko Vi's hand tightly. "I'm here to save you." A moment later, they both made it to shore. At this time, Lu Gan Luong appeared and called out, "Third princess." Ko Vi asked in surprise, "Why are you here?" Seeing Ko Vi soaking wet, he worriedly asked what happened. The second prince lightly took off his coat. Then he quickly threw it over Ko Vi. Lu Gan Luong quickly put the coat on her. He said softly, "Third princess, quickly put on the coat. Don't catch a cold." The second prince frowned, showing displeasure. If it weren't for the fact that you're my little sister, afraid you'd embarrass the royal family, I wouldn't care about such a weak little sister. You've only walked a short distance and already fallen into the water. I really don't understand why Crown Prince Brother likes to play with you." Hearing these words from the second prince, Ko Vi felt a bit sad. Lu Gan Luong said softly, "How did the princess suddenly fall into the water?" Ko Vi replied glumly, "I remember there seemed to be a pair of hands behind me that suddenly pushed me." The second prince and Lu Gan Luong were stunned. The second prince rolled up his sleeves. With a fierce demeanor and raised voice, "Which bastard dares to eat bear gall and has the audacity to mess with the royal family like this? Tell me so I can avenge you, sister." As soon as he finished speaking, his face showed a hint of embarrassment. Gu Yi glared and interjected. Second brother's attitude wasn't like that just now. The second prince shook his head slightly and laughed. "I was just protecting the royal family's reputation. Don't misunderstand. Gu Yi and Lu Yinliang had to play along and nod. Moonlight illuminated the entire capital. Lu Yinliang gently picked up Gu Yi and said to the second prince, "Second prince, the wind is cold. Staying out too long might make us sick. I'll take the third princess back to her room to rest first." Gu Yi leaned against his chest. She thought happily, Lu Yinliang's chest is so warm and dependable. The jealous second prince tried to stall, saying, "Oh, is this my little sister? How can you just carry her away like that?" He frowned, thinking, I clearly saved her. How did I end up being a backdrop for this guy? Fine, I'll go inform father about the situation first. Ask father to investigate the culprit thoroughly. After returning to her room, Gu Yi had changed into another set of clean clothes. She lay comfortably on the bed and sighed. She glanced at Lu Yinliang. Gu Yi felt a bit curious. Is he really the son of the Northern Rong Emperor? She focused on looking at his backside. Gu Yi's face turned bright red. She startled and sat up when she remembered her grandmother's words. Whether it's true or not, you can find out by pulling down that guy's pants. At this moment, Lu Yinliang gently touched her forehead. He asked, "Why is your face so hot? Are you running a fever?" Gu Yi replied shyly, "No, I'm not." He handed her a cup of hot tea, saying, "Here, drink some ginger tea to warm up." Looking at the hot ginger tea, Gu Yi suddenly had an idea. She pretended to spill the tea on Lu Yinliang's pants. Gu Yi let out a small "oh." She bowed and apologized. "I'm sorry, I didn't mean to. Let me ask the servant to bring you new clothes." Gu Yi smiled and pointed to the changing room. "Go change quickly. I won't peek." Lu Yinliang gently took the clothes from her hand. He said softly, Gu Yi's face has become quite lustful. Lu Yinliang tossed the clothes aside. He slowly took off his long robe. Gu Yi peeked from behind. "This is very important. I must look carefully." Suddenly, Lu Yinliang turned around. Gu Yi quickly hid behind a tree. His face showed confusion, but then he turned back around. Gu Yi sighed in relief, thinking that was close. He probably hasn't noticed yet, right? Suddenly, Lu Yinliang opened the door slightly. His huge chest appeared, making Gu Yi blush. He curiously asked, "Third princess, what are you doing?" Gu Yi, flustered, replied, "Ah." She quickly grabbed his shirt. Then she said, "Let me help you put on your clothes." Lu Yinliang blushed shyly. He quickly pushed Gu Yi out. "How could that be possible? I could do it myself." Gu Yi sikitsid. "It seems I'll have to think of another plan." On the other side, the second princess, the pink-haired princess, walked alone. She quietly moved along the deserted road. The girl recalled the scene earlier when she pushed Ko Vai. Her face showed a bit of fear. "I only pushed that bitch once, and she's still not dead." At this moment, the emperor was very angry. He slammed his hand on the table and ordered, "We must find the culprit who pushed Vai Ni into the water. I will punish them severely." The two princesses worriedly thought, "Father is so angry because of her." At this moment, the girl bumped into someone. Ouch! She fell to the ground. Then she frowned and cursed. "Who dares to walk without eyes and bump into this princess? Do you know my noble status? Bumping into us. Even with 10 lives, you couldn't make up for it." Duan Qi gently scolded the two princesses. He lightly grabbed her hand to help her up. "It's dark and the road is slippery. You must be careful when walking." The two princesses were a bit surprised. "It's you again." The girl showed great annoyance. "Who are you after all? I just arrived in Bat City, and you already blocked my way. Now you're blocking my way again. Right now, this princess is in a bad mood and has no time to pay attention to you." Remembering when she first arrived in Bat City, Duan Qi pretended to care for the princess. "I see that your complexion is not good. It seems you have some troubles. Do you need someone to solve them?" The two princesses frowned and said, "Who are you? I don't know you. Get out of here." Back to the present. Duan Qi smiled and said, "I'm here to help you. Did the princess do something wrong and now it's difficult to go home?" The girl trembled and replied, "How do you know? Did you see it then?" Engi Kazofvi Ansviet. The two princesses clenched their fists in anger. "It's all because of that hateful person." The girl raised her voice. "It was her who caused my mother to fall out of favor before. Then she stole father away. If only she would disappear, I could take back everything that belongs to me." Duan Qi slowly stepped closer to the girl. He praised her. "In terms of temperament, appearance, and education, you are indeed more outstanding than her." The two princesses arrogantly replied, "At least you have eyes to see," Duan Qi added. But the princess still lacked some tactics. The two princesses frowned. "Do you have a way?" The next day, Ko Vai happily opened the window to let in the sunlight. She looked full of energy. After a good sleep, her spirit was high. Suddenly, Ko Vai heard some gossip around her. "Oh my, the two missing princesses have returned. Are the two princesses possessed?" What are the two princesses trying to do dressed like this? Ko-Vi thought to herself, why is it so noisy this early in the morning? She quickly walked downstairs. Her mind was full of thoughts. The person who pushed me last night was about my height. She recalled the shadow from yesterday. Same height as me and has a grudge against me. It's not hard to guess it was her. When Ko-Vi just stepped into the room, she was a bit startled when she saw the miserable state of the two princesses. The girl was sobbing and begging her father. I came to admit my fault to you. The one who hurt sister, who made sister fall into the water last night, was me. Golvi Frauen. We haven't even had time to find her and settle the score. With her personality, how could she voluntarily come to turn herself in? If something unusual happens, there must be a problem. The two princesses spoke words full of remorse. I'm sure I didn't mean to do it. Last night I saw my little sister by the lake, so I wanted to play with her. Who knew she was standing there sleeping? As soon as I touched her, she fell down on her own. The younger one added that it was because I was a coward. I got so scared I ran out and hid all night. The two princesses cried even louder. Then I remembered what father had taught us. Knowing your mistakes and correcting them is what makes a good child. So I came back to confess. Father, I understand my mistake. You can punish me as you see fit. I absolutely won't complain. She glanced at Ko-Vi and added, but I beg father to allow me to stay by my sister's side to take care of her. Consider it a chance for me and my mother who made a mistake to redeem ourselves. The emperor spoke softly. Before, you acted without thinking. Now, you've grown up and become much more understanding. He softened towards his daughter and decided to let it go. This incident was just an accident. You're still young and prone to mistakes. Although you made a mistake, you took the initiative to bring the whip for punishment. That's enough to show your remorse. He pointed at Ko-Vi. Family members don't hold grudges overnight. Hugh quickly apologized to your sister. On the surface, Ko-Vi pretended to smile, but inside, she was seething with anger. The two princesses gently took Ko-Vi's hands. Speaking softly, Sister Vi, the younger sister said while putting on a pitiful face. Sister knows she was wrong. Please forgive sister. The air around them was filled with the scent of green tea. Ko-Vi smiled back and said, it's fine. Ko-Vi was speechless, but still had to pretend to be happy with the two princesses. Seeing this, the emperor was delighted. The whole family being happy and harmonious is wonderful. The two princesses thought to themselves, why did she agree so easily? We wanted father to see her narrow-minded attitude, but now, Ko-Vi laughed inwardly. I've already heard your petty scheme. Later, the two walked down the corridor. The two princesses kept following behind Ko-Vi. Then Ko-Vi suddenly stopped and asked with her hands on her hips, why do you keep following me? The two princesses' eyes welled up with tears. Father said we should spend more time together to strengthen our bond. Sister, you don't hate us, do you? If you hate us, we'll go tell father. Ko-Vi laughed nervously. How could your little sister hate you? You must have misunderstood me. Ha ha, I have a fun thing I want to share with you. I'm just afraid you two won't agree. The two princesses curiously asked what it was. Then Ko-Vi pushed open the door. No Luong let out two tiger cubs. Ko-Vi told the two princesses they were going for a walk with the tigers. Hearing this, they were scared. What kind of walk is this? Ko-Vi looked innocent. You're not scared, are you, sisters? If you're scared, I'll go tell father. Hearing about the emperor, the two princesses reluctantly spoke. I'm not afraid anymore. She remembered Duong Qi's words. Even if you really kill her, you might not necessarily be favored. Instead, you'll be disliked by the emperor. What you need to do is to be more understanding. The more obedient she is, the more the emperor will love her. Then the two princesses slowly approached the tiger. They saw that the faces of those two tigers were very gentle. She tremblingly took the leash. Don't be afraid, sister is a good person. I'll take you out to play. But suddenly those two tigers changed their demeanor and growled fiercely, scaring the two princesses to fall on the floor. She screamed loudly and ran away. Manitas, manitas, manitas. Then the two princesses fearfully hid behind the door. Ko-Vi came to pat the tiger's head. Those two tigers were very friendly with Ko-Vi. Ko-Vi then said to the two princesses, Sister, don't blame these tigers for being a bit afraid of strangers. I see you still have wounds on your body. How about you stop taking care of me? Go home and nurse your wounds. Hearing this, the two princesses gritted their teeth in anger. Hateful. She must be doing this on purpose. Meanwhile, Ko-Vi was carefree. She thought happily, I like how sister is angry at me, but can't do anything about it. But the two princesses kept observing and smirked. Then she ran to hold Gan Luong's arm. Brother Gan Luong, these two man-eating beasts are cared for by you. You're quite close to them. Can you take a walk with me? Kovai was surprised by the actions and words of the two princesses. Kovai saw this and got angry. Say that again. Who's the beast? The two princesses were startled and turned to No Luong. Brother No Luong, see how fierce she is. Is she usually this fierce with you too? Why don't you become my bodyguard instead? I'll treat you well. But Gan Luong used 2 fingers to push her hand away. Two princesses, I'm sorry. I work for money. I only take orders from the third princess. The two princesses were frustrated. Whatever she pays you, I'll double it. But No Luong replied, no matter how much, it's not possible. I only listen to the third princess. Kovai smirked. I don't think sister will take the tigers for a walk. Why don't you go to the backyard to feed the tigers? Hearing this, the two princesses got angry. What? You're telling a princess like me to go? She then stepped back. I'm not feeling well today. Maybe next time. She thought to herself, stinky. This princess isn't going anywhere. She ran away at the speed of light. Kovai gestured challengingly. Still want to steal my person? No chance. Then she said to No Luong, you performed very well today. Let me think about what reward to give you. No Luong's eyes were expectant. Kovai rested her chin, thinking, for dinner tonight, I'll reward you with a chicken leg, okay? Hearing this, Gan Luong walked away. Forget it, I don't want it anymore. Kovai quickly chased after him. Don't go. Let's negotiate a bit. Suddenly, Kovai slipped, unconsciously reached forward and pulled down No Luong's pants. Kovai forced her eyes open to see his forbidden area. Kovai was startled. Oh my, this is real. No Luong blushed in embarrassment. He quickly pulled up his pants and got angry. Third princess didn't expect she would do that. Third princess explained. The floor was too slippery. I didn't mean to. Then Kovai ran away at the speed of light. I didn't see anything at all. Second princess went to Duong Qi's house. He was surprised when he heard what second princess said. No Luong refuses to be your bodyguard. Second princess put her hands on her hips arrogantly. That's because of his poor judgment. Kovai is inferior to me in every aspect. Duong Qi smiled. The day after tomorrow is Tu Chiu Veen's birthday party, right? Hearing this, second princess was surprised. How do you know everything? He replied, I just heard about it. If No Luong is fired, there's no way back. Second princess wondered about this. On the other hand, No Luong was carrying items to the room. He opened the door and said, Tu Chiu Veen Nuong Nuong, the ceremonial dress you ordered. I've also brought it back for you. Suddenly he froze. Tu Chiu Veen was lying unconscious on the floor, covered in blood. No Luong panicked. Oh no, he approached her. Suddenly, she opened her eyes. She attacked No Luong, catching him off guard. Then No Luong, lying unconscious on the floor, still managed to ask, who are you? A person impersonating Tu Chiu Veen stood with a terrifying smile. Clothes and shoes were scattered on the floor. At that moment, the crown prince and co. then passed by. Why is the door open? Let's go in and check. Then the two of them pushed the door open. They saw No Luong carrying a bloody bag and leaving. No Luong, what's in your